Chapter 317. After Qiao Xiao arranged everything, it was finally the night of the second full moon. The entire Crown Prince's palace was on high alert. The Devil King, Wang Fei, and Uncle Wu were anxiously guarding the outer hall. In the inner hall, Qiao Xiao had already curled up into a ball from the pain. Wen Wan's devil qi was constantly injected into Qiao Xiao's acupuncture points. However, this was not to cure the curse at all. It was to help alleviate Qiao Xiao's pain. Qiao Xiao finally knew how much pain Yanran was enduring. No matter how strong a person's willpower was, they would not be able to withstand this kind of pain that seeped out from the bones. The only thing that made him happy was that Yanran would no longer be in pain on the night of the full moon. He would suffer this pain on behalf of Yanran. Qiao Xiao gritted his teeth and rolled around on the big bed in the Crown Prince's palace. Later, he could not stand it anymore. He began to beat the bed desperately with his hands, trying to find other ways to divert his pain. However, Wen Wan was already prepared. He tied Qiao Xiao's limbs with an invisible rope and stuffed a handkerchief into his mouth. He could not take any measures now. He could only wait for Qiao Xiao to pass out from the pain before he could begin to drug him. Later, Qiao Xiao's veins were bulging all over his body. He was like a fish out of water bouncing on the bed. His limbs were bound by the invisible rope, and his mouth made a beast-like cry. His eyes were wide open, and his eyeballs were about to fly out of their sockets. His face was completely distorted, and there was a faint sign that the entire bed was going to be torn down. When Wan saw that it was not going to work, he simply chopped Qiao Xiao's neck with his hand. Under this strong impact, Qiao Xiao's head became dizzy. His body jerked upward, and he finally fainted. Wang Fei and the Devil King rushed in. When is it almost time? Wen Wan wiped the sweat off her forehead with her hand. This is the first time. I knocked him out. He will probably wake up from the pain in a while. I can only apply the medicine on him after he passes out completely. Wen Wan thought to herself. Wang Fei picked up the handkerchief in her hand and wiped her tears. She looked at Wen Wan's sweaty forehead and wanted to help him wipe the sweat off. However, the Devil King snatched the handkerchief away and rudely touched Wen Wan's forehead. Then, he threw the handkerchief to Uncle Wu, took out a new one, and handed it to Wang Fei. Wang Fei turned around and glared at Wen Wan. Wen Wan also shook her head with a bitter smile. You two can go out. I still have a lot of work to do. For your precious son, I will probably lose half of my life. The moon outside the window had turned into a perfect circle tonight, hanging high in the sky. It was supposed to be a night of reunion, but at this moment, the moon was watching everything in the Crown Prince's palace, not noticing that it was the one who caused the trouble. Under the same moon, Yanran welcomed the official broadcast of Qiao Xiao's extreme mist tonight. She, who had never watched TV before, was now sitting in front of the TV with her family, watching boring commercials and waiting for Qiao Xiao to appear. Yanran's parents originally wanted her to call Qiao Xiao over to watch it together. Yanran smiled bitterly and directly said that Qiao Xiao had gone abroad and would not be back until the wedding. Her parents could not understand the world of young people. Their daughter was often not at home. At home, she would leave early and return late. It seemed that their son-in-law was the same. They had the same wish as most parents. As long as their child was safe, everything would be fine. Being able to see their child on TV made them even happier. Recently, they felt that Yanran had been spending more time at home. It was not like before, when even in Nanchuan, she did not come home all day. Her mother was attentive. She always saw the faint worry in the corners of her eyes. She even guessed that Qiao Xiao and Yanran might have had a conflict. But after asking in private, Yanran flatly denied it. She only said that Qiao Xiao had gone abroad and that she was busy with work. Look, brother Qiao is coming out. Yan Gua attracted the family's attention to the TV. They saw 4 handsome men and beautiful women walking over from afar. One of them was calm and dignified. It was the familiar film Emperor Jiaming. He wore a pure white suit with a light-colored vest. His hands were in his trouser pockets. He was the first to slowly walk out of the fog. After standing still, his fingers changed into a gun. He aimed it at the screen, raised it up, and then stopped there. The second person wore a pair of glasses and was a cultured student. He was dressed in a student uniform from the Republic of China period. He quickly walked out of the fog and walked to the front of the screen. He also pulled out a gun from behind him. He quickly turned right and aimed the gun at Jia Ming. He paused there. The third person to appear was a valiant beauty dressed in a police uniform, Jing Li. Her pair of high leather boots clacked loudly on the floor. She seemed to have walked out of a room in the military mission office. She walked enchantingly in front of the screen, lifted her leg, and pulled out a gun from her high boots. She pointed it directly at Chang Li's waist and froze there. The last person to appear was Qiao Xiao. He wore a black swimsuit. When he appeared, he wore a top hat on his head. It covered half of his face, only revealing a pair of extremely good-looking red lips. When he walked out, he directly made a gesture with his hands. The fog seemed to have been torn apart by him. The curtains of the stage opened for him. Then he strode with his two slender legs towards the screen. His steps looked very big, but in fact they were very slow. When he got close, he reached out and took off his top hat. His originally drooping eyes suddenly opened. The stars in his eyes fell on the entire screen. The brilliance of his eyes was instantly dazzling, suppressing the aura of the three people in front of him. Xiao Xiao looked at the audience in front of the screen in front of him and pointed his slender index finger forward. Yan Gua shouted, "He's pointing at me." Everyone felt that Xiao Xiao was pointing at them. They only saw him blink and retract his index finger. He lightly tapped his lips, flipped his palm, and flicked his thumb. Just like that, a flying kiss flew through the screen to the tip of everyone's heart. Evildoer. These two words appeared in Yinran's heart. The longing that she had suppressed for half a month gushed out like a flood. Looking at his charming eyes, Yinran's heart beat violently. Then, the entire screen was filled with 4 big words in crazy cursive, extreme fog. The show slowly progressed. From the moment they assigned tasks in the hotel, there was a highlight. Jing Li was obviously bowing down to Qiao Xiao's appearance. She directly said that she came for Qiao Xiao because she was very happy to be able to eat and sleep with Qiao Xiao. The camera of the crew chased after them. At first glance, it was obvious that the director wanted to couple the two of them. After the director announced that they were going to Death Valley, Jing Li deliberately faked a fall to create a series of laughs. Yan Guo was unhappy. She curled her lips and thought, "This woman is much worse than my sister." Nanny Yen turned to look at Yen Ran and saw that she was expressionless. So she said, "This is just filming." It was all arranged by the director. After some highlights, under Jing Li and Man Cheng's flattery, they directly arrived at Death Valley. Father Yen and Mother Yen were attracted by the natural scenery of Death Valley. "Is this country M? This place is so beautiful. It's just that it's all bare stones. I didn't expect that stones could have such beautiful natural scenery." Under the filter of the cameraman, Death Valley, especially the Joshua tree, was highlighted. It was embellished in thick ink among the colorful stones. It was like a fairy that fell into the human world, showing its tenacious vitality in Death Valley. The strong contrast of the scenery brought the 4 protagonists to the scene of gold panning. The ground was dusty, and the sun was scorching hot. After standing outside for a short while, their heads were covered in sweat, and their backs were soaked. All of this was a clear indication of the harsh conditions here. When everyone changed into the gold panning clothes, the audience was truly brought into the difficult fate of the Chinese workers in 1882. Are Qiao Xiao and the others acting as those people who came to look for gold? The conditions here are so bad. It's really hard for them. Yan's father saw a group of people exposed to the sun without any shelter. Coal residue was piled up everywhere in the simple factory, and a group of supervisors were walking back and forth with sticks. If anyone slacked off a little, he would be hit with a stick. Mother Yin touched the goosebumps on her body. "Isn't this too realistic? I can't even tell if they are filming a variety show or a movie." Yan Gui usually watched variety shows. Now they are all called experiential variety shows. Celebrity reality shows are no longer eye-catching. Only this kind of show with a movie story is more interesting. "This director is really talented." Father Yin nodded. "It looks better this way. It can also show the real state of the stars." The chaos of the whole mine was really rendered by the director. The loudspeakers kept playing White Gold, blasting the audience's ears. Yinren only saw that Xiao Zhao's clothes looked very dirty and ugly. His face was also covered with black mud, except for a pair of bright peach blossom eyes. His whole appearance was pulled down a lot. When the program's voiceover said that they had to earn $1.30 a day to buy food, Yinren complained in her heart. Sister, aren't they too miserable? If they can't earn money and find gold, won't they have no food to eat? Is this real or fake? If this is true, Xiao Xiao will suffer a lot. Mother Yin was a little distressed. Soon, these people squatted in the hot gold panning place with tools, and used the sieve in their hands to sift out the sesame-sized borax. The time in the program was directly expressed in numbers. After working for 2 hours, they were really thirsty. Everyone's faces were already showing fatigue. Jingli wanted to drink a glass of water. She was hit by a supervisor next to her with a stick. The stone almost splashed on her face. Father Yin and Mother Yin were worried. Ordinary people can't stand squatting in the sun for 2 hours. This director is really cruel. Later, they saw that Jingli really fainted, and Xiao Xiao and the others didn't rest until noon. The whole family began to scold the director. Although Yanran didn't say anything, she was also angry. The person she cherished in the palm of her hand had contributed so much to make a show. Chapter 318. When it was time for lunch, it was even more exaggerated. Because Jingli didn't find much borax, she didn't have anything to eat. The others could only allocate some of their own rations to Jingli. Then, they began the inhumane work of burning coal in the afternoon. The temperature indicator on the set was displayed on the screen. It was 52 degrees Celsius next to the furnace, 42 degrees Celsius a little further away from the furnace, and 35 degrees Celsius outside the factory. The main actors stood next to the furnace and shoveled coal into it. Mother Yan's heart tightened. Can Xiao Xiao stand in such a hot place? Yan Gua had already opened the live broadcast on the internet, and saw that the bullet screen was also full of scolding. Sister, look at the internet. They are all scolding this show. They don't treat the actors as human beings. In order to pursue the effect of the shooting, they don't even give them food. They also let the actors burn coal under such difficult conditions. This will kill them. Yanran saw that there were really all kinds of comments. None of them were against the actors on the scene. Seeing Jingli holding such a big shovel and putting coal into the furnace, she couldn't stand it anymore after spilling coal all over the ground. She had to perform an erotic dance in public before she was able to change to a small shovel. After shoveling coal for a few hours, Chong Li's hand trembled, and all the coal was spilled on the ground. As a result, he was scolded by the supervisor, and the two of them quarreled. Not only was Chong Li's confrontational mood raised, but the audience's mood also exploded to the extreme. Some people even ran to director Wang's Weibo to curse. When night fell on the first day, the show finally came to an end. Unexpectedly, all the scenes from that night were filled in by the audience's imaginations the next morning. The supervisor was dead, and Chong Li became the biggest suspect. In order to help Chong Li clear his name, Xiao Xiao and the others automatically applied to investigate the truth. Xiao Xiao mortgaged his watch to the supervisor and got 2 days' worth of food in advance. Everyone was brought into the plot by this sudden change. The suspense, the solving of the case, and the restoration of history captured everyone's hearts. The internet gradually quieted down as everyone waited for the development of the plot. The main actors began to look for clues. Only then did the audience know that a lot of things had happened last night. First, Chong Li woke up from hunger and went to the van to find something to eat. Then, he peed on an empty space below a rock. After peeing, he fainted. In the morning, he was found lying on a pile of rocks with the supervisor. Then the subtitles directly showed that the murderer was among the 4 people. Xiao Xiao suspected Chong Li, and when Xiao Xiao said the fact that he was looking for something in the middle of the night, Chong Li and Jingli quarreled over Xiao Xiao. The 4 of them changed from partners, who helped each other, to murderers who were suspicious of each other. Sis, who do you think killed this person? Could it really be Brother Qiao? Yenjika's parents were also attracted by the plot and began to speculate. There was another heated discussion on the internet, especially when Xiao Xiao raised the question of why there was no smell of urine on Chang Li's body when he fainted. It was like a soul torture. Someone launched a poll to see who was the most suspicious among the four main actors. The results of the poll were that Xiao Xiao had the highest number of votes, Jia Ming was second, Chang Li was third, and Jing Li was fourth. Yin Guo was immediately unconvinced. Was this a vote based on looks or the possibility of murder? Brother Qiao obviously had no motive to kill. I think it must be Chang Li. It could also be that mature Jia Ming. He is low-key and reserved. Maybe he is the murderer who hides the deepest. Yin Jika's father analyzed. Yinran did not speak. She looked at Xiao Xiao on the screen. Although it was a recording, Yinran felt as if it was real. She had entered Xiao Xiao's world too little. He always pulled her into his world. Even when he met her in Death Valley, Xiao Xiao did not complain at all. In the afternoon, they continued to work. During the work, the difficult environment made everyone in front of the screen feel the same. They watched helplessly as Chang Li's pupils dilated, and he fell straight down. It was so real that it could not be any more real. After Chang Li was carried out, Jing Li hugged her stomach and complained that it hurt, and wanted to go to the toilet. After a while, Xiao Xiao and Jia Ming looked at each other and shouted, "Oh no!" Everyone in the audience guessed. Could it be? But after a while, they realized that Chang Li and Jing Li were chatting and laughing as they returned to the factory. Everything became confusing again. At this moment, the audience already knew that the killer would only win if he killed everyone else. If the killer committed a murder in public and was seen by others, the killer would lose. The difficulty level increased. It was interesting. The popularity of the show was originally just to watch the show. It was attracted by the popularity of a few celebrities. It created a heated discussion on the internet. The real-time news on Weibo had already rushed to the top. #Extreme Fog, who is the real murderer? The first half of the variety show had already ended. They had to wait until the end of next week to wait for the second half. Wasn't this suspense? Who was the murderer? Yengua jumped up and down in front of the TV. If you don't tell me the answer, I won't be able to eat. Yinran didn't say anything. After she went up, she called Zhang Daong and scolded him. What kind of show is this? It's so torturous. Next time, before you accept a show, can you be clear about it? Look at how you tormented Xiao Xiao. Zhang Daong had just finished watching the show and was feeling complacent about the popularity online. He didn't expect to be scolded by the lady boss. He touched his nose. Sister Yinran, this is the show that Brother Qiao chose himself. I told him that the director was a little perverted, but he insisted on going. You can't blame me. Why did he insist on going? I think I heard him say that you happen to be in a city in country M. As soon as he heard the location of the show, he didn't even look at the content before he made the decision. Zhang Daong told Yinran everything he knew. Yinran didn't speak for a long time. After a long time, she hung up the phone. After several repetitions, Xiao Xiao woke up from his coma. He continued to be in unbearable pain until when Wan knocked him out again. After about a dozen times, he finally fainted completely. Wen Wan was so tired that she almost fainted. However, this was not the time for Wen Wan to rest. He had to pull himself together and start treating Xiao Xiao. After such a long time of research, he had found a set of solutions to the curse. However, all of this could only be tried again on the night of a full moon. In other words, when the curse in Xiao Xiao's body flared up again, he could draw it out and completely destroy it. He changed out of his soaked clothes and put on a new set of tight shorts. He took out his medicine box and placed a row of porcelain bottles on the bedside table. Then, he spread out 99 silver needles on the bedside table. When Wan looked at the unconscious Xiao Xiao and unbuttoned his clothes, her fingers moved quickly, and in an instant, the silver needles were inserted all over his body from head to toe. This was a curse used to lock his heart and prevent him from running around his body. If he accidentally ran to other parts of his body, even the gods couldn't save him. When Wan took out a porcelain bottle and opened it. Then, when Wan picked up a porcelain bottle and pointed it directly at the bloody hole. After so many days, He had found a way to attract the black gas from the curse. His porcelain bottle contained a very tempting drug. He had also taken some of the Devil King's blood. Only blood purer than the blood in Xiao Zhao's body could attract the curse. Unfortunately, Xiao Zhao's blood was already too pure. Other than the Devil King's blood, it was difficult to find any other blood that was more attractive to the curse. Therefore, when Nguyen had been trying for so many days to use artificial blood, hoping to succeed in one fell swoop, he didn't have much time left. From the first day he started his research, he only had half a month. If he failed this time, Xiao Xiao would be in a coma for 2 months. Chapter 319. The Devil King and Wang Fei had come to see him many times. They didn't expect the treatment process to be so difficult. They are treating him without sleep. Will Awen collapse from fatigue? Will Xiao faint from hunger if he doesn't eat for a few days? Wang Fei muttered these words at the door every day. She walked back and forth anxiously and couldn't stop for a moment. The Devil King was anxious. How could he bear to let his beloved concubine suffer here with them? The child will naturally have his fortune when he grows up. With Awen here, you don't have to worry. Wang Fei was anxious. You don't love our Xiao at all, and you don't care about Awen. The two of them are suffering, and we are having fun outside. Aren't you digging my heart out? After saying that, the peerless beauty began to wipe her tears again. How could the Devil King dare to make her angry? He hurriedly called Uncle Wu over. You have to arrange their food, clothing, and housing. Don't let the two of them starve. Especially Xiao. How can he bear it when he is unconscious and doesn't eat or drink? You have to make him drink. In this way, there was another Uncle Wu in the room. He fed Xiao Xiao mouthful by mouthful. Although Xiao Xiao was unconscious, after 2 days of treatment, he already had some consciousness. Under the care of Uncle Wu, he really ate a lot. Wang Fei was finally relieved. At least her son wouldn't faint from hunger. As for whether her curse could be cured, she didn't have to worry about it at all with Awen. Wang Fei's fanatical worship of Awen made the Devil King gnash his teeth in hatred. How could she worship him more than she worshipped him? At this time, the object of worship, when Nguyen had finished eating, she was so tired that she collapsed on the chair and fell asleep. He had used up all the porcelain bottles. He had done what he could. There was still a residual curse in his body. He had no other choice but to rely on Xiao Zhao's luck. Uncle Wu looked at the bloody hole in his young master's chest that hadn't been blocked yet. Traces of black gas were still coming out. At this time, he finally reacted. Young master didn't use his own heart's blood to remove the crown prince consort's curse, but transferred it to his own body. Uncle Wu heaved a sigh. Thank goodness, thank goodness. If he had really cut his heart's blood, even an immortal wouldn't be able to save him. Now it was only a matter of time before he got rid of this possession. He just didn't know if the young master could survive and make it in time for his big wedding. Yanran, you are going to try on the wedding dress today. You must make time. Ask Xiao Xiao to go with you. Mother woke Yanran up early in the morning. Yanran paused in the middle of putting on her clothes. Everything was proceeding according to the time that Xiao Xiao and her parents had originally planned. Yanran didn't tell her parents about Xiao Zhao's disappearance, but how could the groom be missing from the wedding? Originally, Xiao Xiao wanted to hide it from you. He didn't want you to try on the wedding dress. But now that you know, I think you should go try it. What if it doesn't fit? So it was Xiao Zhao's mother who had made the decision. Yanran shook her head and said, Mom, since you were planning to hide it from me, then there must be no problem with the dress. Then I won't try it. Just pretend that I don't know. When the time comes, you can give Xiao Xiao a surprise, okay? You two are so strange. You want to give each other a surprise for everything. How can you hide something as big as your wedding? However, Xiao Xiao hasn't come to our house recently. The last time he came was in December. What is he busy with? Is there a new show? Ah yes. He recently went abroad to film again, so he will be busy. Yanran didn't explain to her parents. She was betting that Xiao Xiao would come back. I've sent out your invitations. Who else do you need to invite? Mom, did you forget about Xiao Xiao? Your classmates. I don't know if the whole hotel is big enough. Is 100 tables enough? My mother was really overwhelmed with these things. Recently, there was no news from Uncle Wu. No one answered my calls. I had discussed many things with him before, but now he suddenly disappeared. What should we do? Mom, you decide. Uncle Wu and Xiao Xiao went abroad together. They won't come back until the wedding day. Mom Yan's hand paused. Uncle Wu also left. This is strange. Your wedding is such a big thing. But no one from the groom's family showed up. Yinran, did something happen? Mom was a little worried. Yinran's fingernails had already dug into her flesh. Mom is fine. You can do it as usual. After saying that, she didn't eat anymore. She took her bag and left the house. Her back was in a panic like a rabbit that didn't know what to do. Time passed quickly. The needle never stopped according to Yinran's wishes. Soon it was the second half of the broadcast of Extreme Fog. In the second half, everyone was equipped with a dagger. Things became more complicated. That night they slept in the factory. Each of them had a mat. Jingli slept near the door. The audience saw Jingli sneak out alone at night. The camera followed. When the camera turned, it saw Jingli quickly take off her clothes and start to take a shower in the toilet. Of course, only her bare shoulders could be seen. After taking a shower, she quietly returned to the factory. She secretly whispered something in Chang Li's ear. Then Chang Li and she quietly went out. After a while, Jingli came back alone. Then she called Jiaming out. After a while, Jingli returned to the factory alone again. She was about to find Xiao Xiao, but found that Xiao Xiao was not in the factory at all. After reading it, Yin Guo exclaimed, "Are Chang Li and Jiaming both dead? Where did brother Qiao go?" Yinran touched her nose and said in her heart, "Xiao Xiao is with me." The internet was a little confused by this shocking mystery. 2 more people disappeared, and one of the 2 people must be the murderer. Most people on the internet guessed that Xiao Xiao was the murderer. After all, it was more convenient for a man to commit murder than a girl. The next morning, as the audience guessed, Jiaming and Chang Li were killed outside. Jingli immediately reported that Xiao Xiao was not there last night. It must be Xiao Xiao who killed them. At the same time, several supervisors also proved that Xiao Xiao was not there last night. Although Jingli went out, she came back soon. Xiao Xiao could not defend himself. He was tied to the pillar at the door and exposed to the sun. Yinran saw that Xiao Xiao was wronged and tied to the pillar at the door. She felt sorry for him. Although the director's shooting skills were indeed reflected, and the quality of the show was very good, in Yinran's heart, she felt uncomfortable when she saw Xiao Xiao suffer again and again. Then the plot went further. Jingli took the opportunity to give Xiao Xiao water and pulled a dagger in front of the audience at a close distance. Only then did everyone know that the murderer was actually Jingli. Jingli used one hand to pour water on Xiao Xiao, while the other hand did not hesitate to stab the dagger into his waist. Mother Yin was so scared that she covered her mouth at this time. It was as if Xiao Xiao would be stabbed by Jingli in the next moment. All the comments stopped at this moment. Everyone held their breath. At this moment, Xiao Xiao twisted his slender waist and opened up a small distance. Then, he kicked back and bounced Jingli more than 10 feet away. He shouted, "Jingli is the murderer. She wanted to kill me just now." Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. Xiao Xiao had saved herself, and Jingli was the real killer. Then, the director continued to play the process of Jingli killing Chang Li and Jiaming the night before. Everyone was impressed by this little girl's courage and carefulness, and her superb acting skills. Jingli, who originally thought that she would definitely succeed, was defeated by Xiao Xiao at the last moment. The Real King was still Xiao Xiao. The internet had exploded. It was a shocking reversal. The murderer was actually Jingli, and the last powerful one was actually Xiao Xiao. Someone cut the last 2-minute video of Jingli and Xiao Xiao's assassination and counter-assassination, and spread it all over the internet. It could be called a classic. It was the moment when Jingli twisted her waist that showed her obsession with Xiao Xiao drinking water. That moment of hesitation, and the subsequent fierceness of the attack also showed Xiao Xiao's alertness, decisiveness, and quick reaction. "Damn! King, the absolute king. Brother-in-law is amazing," Yen Gua shouted in the living room. Yinran knew that her family's Xiao Xiao was the best. The perfect ending of this show made Xiao Zhao's popularity soar rapidly. That night, Xiao Zhao's phone kept ringing. Yinran looked at it. They were all classmates, people in the entertainment industry, and many people she didn't know. She picked up one by one and replied politely. Xiao Xiao is not convenient to answer the phone now. Please leave a message. If there is something important, I will pass it to him. The other party all congratulated him on the success of his performance and hoped that he would create another glory. There were also people who were curious about Yinran's identity, and his classmates called her sister-in-law. Yinran couldn't answer the phone later. There were too many calls. She didn't know why Xiao Zhao's private phone number was left with so many people. After hanging up the phone, she asked Zhang Daong to use the official Weibo to post a few videos that Xiao Xiao had recorded in the past to appease the fans' fiery hearts. She also made a compilation of several wonderful scenes and images in the show as a reward for the fans. She also personally wrote a few long articles to explain the few Easter eggs left in the show. This was also a point that many people on the internet were questioning. Why did Chang Li faint on the rock in the rock walk? It turned out that in addition to the series of arrangements by the director, this was also related to the mystery of Death Valley itself. Of course, Yinran wouldn't talk about the existence of monsters, but she also attributed it to the mysterious phenomenon of Death Valley itself. The article was widely circulated on the internet and quickly exceeded 100,000 clicks. It was as if Xiao Xiao was still there. Yinran could only make herself busy in order to stop her constant worry about Xiao Xiao. If Xiao Xiao simply returned to the devil world, she knew that Xiao Xiao would definitely do everything possible to return to the human world like last time. And this time, the disappearance of the sea-stabilizing needle, Uncle Wu, made her panic the most. However, no matter how panicked she was, there was nothing she could do. Although she had already become the leader of the cultivation world in the country, there was nothing she could do. The devil world was a very distant existence to her, and there was an invisible barrier between it and the human world. She didn't know those incantations, and she couldn't activate the space door. The only thing she could do was to help Xiao Xiao take care of everything, prepare for their wedding, and wait for him to return just like last time. Chapter 320. The news of Xiao Xiao and Yinran's wedding couldn't be concealed. As a public figure, the paparazzi were always paying attention. Recently, there was no sign of Xiao Xiao, so the paparazzi were also confused. Every day, downstairs of Star Entertainment, except for seeing the busy figures of Zhang Daong and Jing Shu, the money bag in their hearts had never appeared. On this day, seeing Zhang Daong hurriedly carrying a large bag out of Star Entertainment's building, several paparazzi rushed up and wanted to ask about the recent situation. But they didn't expect Zhang Daong to walk so fast that he suddenly bumped into them. The bag in Zhang Daong's hand was accidentally knocked to the ground, and the big red invitation cards were all scattered on the ground. Zhang Daong quickly squatted on the ground, picked up the invitation cards, and put them back into the bag. The paparazzi's nose was the most sensitive. So many invitations had already attracted their attention. Several people blocked Zhang Daong's line of sight, and one of them opened it to take a look. Wow, inside the big red invitation card was a shocking big melon. He secretly took a picture with his mobile phone, and then quickly ran away when others weren't paying attention. This was the scoop he found out. The paparazzi who usually waited together saw this guy turn around and run away. He didn't care about Zhang Daong anymore. He immediately turned around and chased after them. They ran crazily on the street. They chased until the reporter in front returned to his company. Only then did they block the others outside. Then, Xiao Xiao originally prepared to give Yinran a surprise, but the shocking big melon suddenly exploded on the internet. Originally, Xiao Xiao announced in front of the whole country that he would get married this year. But they didn't expect it to be so soon. The first day of the new year was the day of their wedding. The whole network was paralyzed, and this news was crazily spread. And this reporter also won the title of the year's Outstanding Entertainment Reporter because of this news. Yinran was also shocked when she saw the news on the internet. Originally, she thought that the wedding was a matter between two families. At most, she would invite some relatives and friends to attend. But now, she didn't expect that it would become a major event for the whole country. Because the time and place of their wedding had been announced in detail on the internet, they were in trouble. Yinran urgently called Zhang Daong and Jing Shu for a meeting to discuss the security of the wedding. Sister Yinran, what did Brother Qiao say about this? Why wasn't he back yet? He's about to get married in a few days. With such a big thing happening, the scene must be very chaotic. His fans will probably rush over from all over the country to attend his wedding. What should we do? Yinran took a deep breath and said, I didn't expect the situation to spread so quickly. These reporters have really sharp noses. We originally booked 100 tables, but it looks like it won't be enough now. Lady boss, don't tell me you're going to welcome all these guests inside? That's definitely not realistic, Jing Shu said from the side. Those who didn't receive an invitation will definitely not be given a seat. I'm just worried that these fans will be agitated, so I have to prepare a mass event in advance. All the procedures will be simplified. Just leave the procedures for dinner at night. This won't do, Sister Yinran. This is your wedding. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event. Just our groomsmen group alone. Brother Qiao has organized 24 people. We're ready to pick up the bride that day. Yinran looked at Zhang Daong expressionlessly and said, Now that things have changed, I don't know if Qiao Xiao can make it back in time. The groom isn't even here. How can he pick up the bride? Zhang Daong choked and said, No way, Sister Yinran. Is this a fake marriage? Whether the marriage is real or fake depends on whether Qiao Xiao can make it back in time. Jing Shu was shocked and said, Lady boss, if this is a fake marriage, then the whole country has been fooled. Then boss's image will really plummet. This is also a sudden accident. I didn't think of it beforehand, and I guess Qiao Xiao didn't think of it either. Now that the arrow is on the bow, it has to be released. If the wedding is cancelled, then Qiao Xiao's image will directly collapse. Qiao Xiao's matter will be put aside for now. Daong, you and Jing Shu think of a way to appease the fans. Persuade them online not to come to the wedding. Lady boss, for the fans, if the whole group doesn't let them attend, they will be very disappointed in their idol. I suggest that if there are really people who want to come, we can choose a few representatives to attend. Jing Shu looked at Yinran. In fact, this was also his own wish as a hardcore fan. Yinran pressed the space between her eyebrows. All right. Jing Shu looked at the lady boss with a strong aura. She was about to get married, but there was no joy at all. She was still as cold as before, and there was a trace of sadness that couldn't be dispelled. Jing Shu seemed to sense something in her heart. Could it be that something had really happened to boss? In the room of the Eastern aristocratic family, Yi Xuanfei, everything was smashed. She looked at the wedding photo she had photoshopped with Qiao Xiao on the opposite wall. In the photo, Qiao Xiao was so dazzling and so compatible with her. But she didn't expect that the news on the internet would consign her to eternal damnation. Qiao Xiao was really going to marry Yinran. Ever since the official announcement of the two of them, Yi Xuanfei couldn't take the blow, and had already made a fuss at home once. But she knew that there was nothing she could do. Now that she had no spiritual power, what could she use to fight with Yinran? She had been thinking about how to snatch Qiao Xiao back, and how to pull Yinran down from the altar. But after thinking for so long, she still couldn't think of a good idea. And the news on the internet yesterday directly ignited her little universe, causing her to be so agitated that she couldn't sleep for the entire night. Qiao Xiao was hers. Qiao Xiao would always be hers. How could he really marry that little tch Yinran? Everything was Yinran's fault. As long as Yinran disappeared, Qiao Xiao would return to her arms. Yi Xuanfei had to admit that she was already possessed. Qiao Xiao was her obsession. This crazy woman had already started to desperately want Qiao Xiao, and wanted to destroy Yinran. So what if she didn't have spiritual power? Didn't Yinran also have no spiritual power in the past? She was a human now. Would Yinran dare to hurt her? Yi Xuanfei suddenly thought it through. In the past, she had always been troubled that she couldn't defeat Yinran. There were many things that didn't require direct confrontation. But couldn't some methods be used? Yi Xuanfei directly bought a ticket to Nanchuan, and arrived in Nanchuan a few days before the wedding. Jechi, it's me, Xuanfei. Do you still remember me? Jechi suddenly received a call from Yi Xuanfei and was really surprised. Yi Xuanfei, long time no see. How are you now? I'm fine. I received an invitation from Qiao Xiao and Yanran to attend their wedding. We used to be classmates and haven't seen each other for many years. So I wanted to say hello to you and catch up with my classmates. Yi Xuanfei's voice was sweet. Jechi could feel her beautiful smile on the phone. Jechi recalled that Yi Xuanfei and Yanran seemed to have a good relationship with Qiao Xiao. Later on, when they went to university, they didn't have much of a relationship. She didn't expect that Qiao Xiao would invite Yi Xuanfei to attend the wedding. That's great. I'm also the bridesmaid this time. We have a bridesmaid group of 24 people. The lineup is quite strong, and will support brother Qiao and sister Yanran. The innocent Jechi happily shared her joy with Yi Xuanfei. Can we meet in private? Long time no see. There are some things I want to ask you, Yi Xuanfei said very gently. I've been quite busy these 2 days. After the reunion dinner on New Year's Eve, I have to stay at the hotel at night. I have to pick up Yanran early in the morning. I don't know if I'll have time. You do what you need to do. It's okay. You can have the reunion dinner on New Year's Eve first. After we go to the hotel, if I'm free, I'll come and play with you. Then okay, see you then. Jechi didn't expect that Yi Xuanfei's arrival would almost put an end to her originally happy life. The New Year's Eve was a day for family reunion. Jechi happily had dinner with her family members, and then went to the hotel with her bags. Tonight, all the bridesmaids had to stay at the hotel next to Yanran's house. Tomorrow morning, they had to go and help Yanran. This time, many of the bridesmaids were their classmates. Some were from high school, and some were from university. It was rare for everyone to gather together. Taking advantage of Yanran's wedding, it became a disguised class reunion. It was already snowing outside. The weather had been particularly cold these 2 days. Jechi wrapped her down jacket tightly, wore a pair of very cute cat-eye earmuffs, and covered her entire face with a scarf. She hobbled into the hotel with her camera equipment. When she finally settled everything, she heard a knock on the door. She looked through the peephole and saw that it was indeed Yi Xuanfei who had called her before. She happily opened the door. Yi Xuanfei immediately gave her a bear hug. Jechi, long time no see. Jechi was infected by her enthusiasm and immediately invited her into the room. The two of them started chatting about everything. What they talked about the most was the wedding of Qiao Xiao and Yanran tomorrow. Yi Xuanfei was wearing a black down jacket today. Jechi felt that she was a little different from before. In the past, Yi Xuanfei was always so flamboyant, especially the navel ring on her belly button, which left a deep impression on everyone. But today, Yi Xuanfei wrapped herself up tightly. Xuanfei, I'm not used to you dressing up like this today. I remember that you weren't afraid of the cold at all in the past. No matter how cold it was, you would still expose your navel. Yi Xuanfei sneered in her heart. How could she resist the cold without spiritual power? But the smile on her face remained. The weather is cold and I'm old. Naturally, I can't resist the cold. Those are some silly things I did when I was young. Quickly tell me about the wedding process tomorrow. There are a lot of things to do tomorrow. We have to pick up Yanran early in the morning, then accompany her to do her makeup, and help her change her clothes. The groom will come to pick her up. There are also 24 groomsmen. We have some interaction with the groomsmen. Anyway, there are a lot of things to do tomorrow. The main event is at night. Yi Xuanfei said with her big envious eyes. I really want to be a bridesmaid. Alas, can you give it to me tomorrow? Chapter 321. I don't think so. This was all arranged in advance. There aren't many bridesmaids' clothes. Jechi was in a difficult position. Jechi, Yanran and Qiao Xiao are good friends. It's because I'm far away that I don't have the chance to be a bridesmaid. I'm very regretful. How about this? Can you let me replace you at the venue tonight? I won't participate in the activities at the beginning, okay? To be honest, I also want to attend their wedding. Jechi, I'm begging you. Aren't you a photographer? If you're the bridesmaid, who will take photos of them at the venue? Jechi thought about it and agreed. Then I'll tell Sister Yanran. Don't tell her. I also want to give her a surprise. Jiechi, please. Yi Xuanfei shook Jiechi's arm and begged her like a little girl. Jiechi looked at Yi Xuanfei's eager expression, and her heart softened. On the first day of the new year, the whole country was celebrating the new year. As for Nanchuan, there was another big event today, and that was the wedding of Qiao Xiao and Yin Ran. All the hotels were full. Fans and guests from all over the country wanted to witness this grand wedding with their own eyes. Regardless of whether they could enter the venue, they could at least feel the atmosphere at a close distance. At the request of all the fans, a few representatives were chosen to attend the wedding in person. The big screen at the entrance of the hotel was broadcasting the grand occasion live. Countless reporters with cameras had already taken the best positions. There wasn't much to do on the first day of the new year. Qiao Xiao and Yinran's wedding had become the most important event in Nanchuan. Yinran's family had been busy since the morning. Xiao Xiao's personal makeup artist, Xiao Xiaoyan, had dressed Yinran like a fairy who had descended to the mortal world. The custom-made wedding dress was indeed very suitable. It was personally measured by Qiao Xiao. Yinran looked at herself in the mirror, who was as beautiful as a flower. She felt more and more nervous. The time was getting closer and closer, which made her more and more uneasy. She felt more and more uncertain about today. 24 bridesmaids had already surrounded her. They were all her former classmates and close friends. They were all full of blessings and smiles in their eyes. They were all discussing how to stop the groom outside the door later. It wasn't until noon that they saw the motorcade slowly approaching. Jiechi and Xiao Xiaoyan saw it from the window and shouted excitedly, "They're coming! They're coming!" Yinran suddenly became nervous. She hadn't seen Qiao Xiao for almost 2 months. Did he really come? Is he feeling better now? The sudden change before New Year's Day still made her feel a lingering fear. Yinran's heart beat wildly. Yinran's father opened the door downstairs. 24 groomsmen filed in, led by Zhang Deong. But when they looked back, there was no one. "Where's Qiao Xiao?" Mother Yin asked. Zhang Deong was very embarrassed. "We were going to gather at Qiao Xiao's house according to the original plan, but we found that there was no one at his house. We waited until noon, so we had to come here first." Mother Yin and Father Yan's faces darkened. "What's going on? There's no groom at the wedding? Then who's going to pick up the bride?" The faces of the 24 groomsmen were as colorful as a palette. It was a spectacular sight. "Auntie, we didn't expect this either. It's such a big thing, and we still need Sister Yinran to make a decision, so we came here first." As the representative of the groom, Zhang Deong really wanted to find a hole to hide in. Yan's parents had to let the 24 groomsmen in, and the living room was full of them. At this time, the atmosphere upstairs also became cold. Jiechi and Xiao Xiaoyan had heard what Zhang Deong said downstairs. They looked at the expressionless Yinran and lowered their heads, not daring to speak. After a while, Zhang Deong and Mother Yin came up. Before Zhang Deong said anything, Yinran said, "Xiao Xiao still hasn't come back?" Zhang Deong lowered his head for a long time timidly. "No, there's no one at home. Uncle Wu isn't here either." Mother Yin asked Yinran, "Didn't Xiao Xiao contact you? Do you still want to continue the wedding?" Yinran held her breath. All the other procedures were cancelled, and the banquet in the evening went on as usual. But Yinran, Mother Yin still wanted to say something. Yinran raised a hand to stop her from saying what she wanted to say. "I believe him." Everyone was waiting at Yinran's house, waiting for the banquet in the evening. However, the originally joyous atmosphere had disappeared. The relaxed joy of the big day of the wedding and the new year had been replaced by a gloomy atmosphere. The omen of a storm made everyone worried. Finally, in the afternoon, a luxurious motorcade arrived at the hotel ahead of time. Along the way, they could see the cheers of the fans and the photos of the reporters. However, when they arrived at the entrance of the hotel, everyone saw that the bride, bridesmaids, and groomsmen got out of the car. But there was no groom. A big question was planted in everyone's heart. There were even reporters broadcasting live on the internet. Where did the groom go? Does he want to give everyone a suspense? Xiao Zhao's Star Entertainment has always been very creative. Tonight, we look forward to him bringing us a different way to appear. Nearly 8 rooms had been booked in the hotel, all prepared for the wedding. The reporters had already put out the advertisement, but the only person at the door to greet the guests was Yin-ran, along with a group of groomsmen and bridesmaids. Yin-ran did not have stage fright in front of the camera, nor did she show embarrassment because of the absence of Xiao Xiao. At this time, Yin-ran's aura was reflected. Whether it was celebrities in the entertainment industry or Xiao Xiao's fans, she was polite and courteous, thanking them for coming to watch the ceremony. There were a lot of stars at the scene, all of whom Xiao Xiao knew in the entertainment industry. The reporters soon turned their attention to them. Originally, it was the wedding of Xiao Xiao and Yin-ran, but at this time, it became a large-scale Walk of Fame entrance show. Every guest present was dressed up and walked from the entrance of the hotel to the banquet hall. Countless reporters once again sent a long line, carrying out a grand live broadcast of every guest's appearance. This has become a big melon for the people of the country. On the first day of the new year, in addition to watching the Spring Festival Gala, there was finally another program for them to celebrate. Today, Yin-ran was really dazzling. Her originally cold and unparalleled face was painted with appropriate color makeup. Many of the female guests who came to the banquet were stars in the entertainment industry, and any one of them could beat a lot of them in terms of appearance. But in front of the bride today, all the glory was occupied by the bride alone. She was tall and perfect, with impeccable cold facial features, and a long tail gown studded with broken diamonds. Her exposed lustrous shoulders were standard straight-angle shoulders, and she wore a queen's crown on top of her hair. The temperament around her was that of a queen. The reporters were surprised to find that there was an endless stream of people coming and bowing to Yin-ran. These people all had one thing in common. They all called Yin-ran Principal Yin. This was what Yin-ran asked everyone in the cultivation world to call her, and everyone sincerely bowed at a standard 90 degrees, while Yin-ran just nodded gently in return. More and more people came, and gradually the hall was full. At this time, there was a commotion at the door. A middle-aged man in a suit limped in slowly, followed by a person who was carrying his bag. At first glance, it was obvious that the person was a secretary-like figure. This, the reporters' mouths opened even wider. Isn't this Director Tian, who we often see on TV? Director Tian limped in front of Yin-ran, reached out 2 hands and shook hands with Yin-ran sincerely. Finally, he asked the secretary to take out a thick stack of red envelopes from his bag and handed it to Yin-ran. Yin-ran smiled to express her gratitude, took it without hesitation, and handed it to Mama Yin next to her. After a while, 2 old people in their 50s came. At first glance, they looked hale and hearty, the kind that was old but vigorous. The 2 of them came forward, and behind them, there were 2 people carrying a box. When they opened it, they saw all kinds of gold, silver, and jewelry inside, all antiques. The 2 old people said, "The aristocratic families in the West and the North don't have anything valuable, only some treasures that have been passed down from our ancestors. This is a little gift from us for Principal Yan's wedding." Yin-ran nodded to express her gratitude, and the 2 old people walked in with laughter. After a while, the senior executives of the entertainment industry also came. All the stars went up to greet them, which attracted another wave of inquiry from the reporters. After a while, there was another climax at the door. Professor Wang also came to the wedding of Xiao Xiao, and Yin-ran with his robot Tarzan. Tarzan was very humorous and performed a robot dance at the door, a standard palace etiquette for Yin-ran. The reporters quickly captured this rare scene. The live video of the scene was broadcasted on the big screen outside the hotel in real time. Many people were more curious about the identity of Xiao Xiao's bride. Someone had already checked Yin-ran's information on the internet. It seemed that she was a very excellent university graduate, but she didn't have a job after graduation. Why did everyone call her Principal Yin? Question marks lit up in everyone's mind, but no one could deny that this girl was born to be a queen. At this time, what everyone was looking forward to most was when Xiao Xiao would appear. The reception was almost over, and the wedding ceremony officially began at 7:18. The veteran host Han Ming had already started to warm up the scene on the stage, and several heavyweight stars had already started to sing the opening song. Yinran stood there for more than an hour, and all the guests who should have come had all entered. The bridesmaids and groomsmen behind her had already lost their legs. Yinran, it's getting late. Do you think we should go in now? Xiao Xiao's parents had been forcing smiles. Until now, Xiao Xiao hadn't appeared. How could the show continue? Yinran looked at the time and said, "You go in first. I'll wait here for a while. It starts at 7:18 sharp." Chapter 322. All the groomsmen and bridesmaids went backstage. Jieqi took the opportunity to go to the hotel room she had booked. Sure enough, Yi Xuanfei was waiting for her there. "Jieqi, what's going on? Why don't I see Xiao Xiao?" Yi Xuanfei had been waiting for a whole day. She had wanted to sneak a look at Xiao Xiao, but she couldn't find him anywhere. Jieqi sighed as soon as she entered the room. "I don't know where Xiao Xiao went. I haven't seen him all day. Now we're all in a mess. I don't know how to continue the wedding." Yi Xuanfei was ecstatic. She asked in surprise, "You mean Xiao Xiao didn't pick up Yinran this morning?" "Yes, we went there early in the morning. Only 24 groomsmen came. Xiao Xiao was nowhere to be seen." Jieqi sat on the sofa gloomily and pulled at her hair. "Does Xiao Xiao want to break the engagement?" "I don't think so. Sister Yinran said that Brother Xiao has something to do. He will definitely come." "All right, Jieqi, stop pulling at your hair. Let's change our clothes quickly. I have to go to the venue to take a look. Is this really okay?" Jieqi was still a little unsure. "Jieqi, please understand. I want to see how they feel. You can sit down and watch. Why do you have to be a bridesmaid?" "Jieqi, help me. This is the only time in my life. I want to leave some memories in their lives." Jieqi unwillingly changed her clothes with Yi Xuanfei. Then she watched Yi Xuanfei sneak out of the room and go backstage. Jieqi was a little worried and quietly followed her. She saw Yi Xuanfei rummaging through the props backstage, looking for something. She saw her rummaging for a long time, and finally found the place to throw the flowers. These were the flowers that all the bridesmaids had to throw when Yinran went on stage. Yi Xuanfei secretly took out a small porcelain bottle from her bag and poured something into it. Jieqi immediately walked forward. "Yi Xuanfei, what are you doing?" As soon as she got closer, she smelled a pungent smell. "What exactly is this?" "This is the smell of sulfuric acid." "Yi Xuanfei, what are you doing?" Jieqi cried out in alarm. Yi Xuanfei didn't expect Jieqi to be following her. She had achieved her goal, and there was no need to put on an act anymore. Her face immediately turned cold. "Jieqi, you're meddling too much." Yi Xuanfei immediately closed the door, leaving only the two of them in the room. Jieqi leaned against the wall in fear and clenched her fists involuntarily. A sense of fear rose from the bottom of her heart. She had never seen Yi Xuanfei like this before. "Yi Xuanfei, what are you trying to do? Why did you take sulfuric acid? Don't act recklessly." "Jieqi, I just wanted to borrow your identity, but it's a pity that you're too suspicious." "You guessed right, sulfuric acid is used to deal with Yinran. But now that you've seen it, do you want me to use it to deal with you first?" Jieqi was so frightened that she squatted on the ground and covered her face. "No, no." Yi Xuanfei grabbed her hair and pretended to wave her hand. Jieqi screamed in fear. Yi Xuanfei decided to go all out and knocked Jieqi out. Then she took out her phone. "Tian Han, I'm in the prop room backstage." After less than 2 minutes, Tian Han, who was in disguise, walked in from the other side of the hotel. "Eldest miss, what can I do for you? This girl knows too much. Throw her to the back of the mountain." "Eldest miss, the situation is very dangerous now. After the incident with the Eastern aristocratic family, I've been wanted by them. I'm helping you today, so please think of a way to get me out of the country. Don't worry, although the Eastern aristocratic family has fallen, a starving camel is still bigger than a horse. There's still a way to get you out of the country. Eldest miss, don't be perfunctory. You said the same thing before, but you still haven't sent me out. I hope you can give me a sum of money first, enough for my current life. I'll definitely help you with your matter." Yi Xuanfei was so angry that she gritted her teeth. Everyone was going against her. "Give me your account number. I'll give you $10,000 first." Tianhan smiled. He walked to Yi Xuanfei's side and hugged her waist. Eldest miss, are you trying to dismiss a beggar with $10,000? Why don't you give me $100,000 first? If I get caught, you won't get any benefits either, right? You were the one who ordered us to do some things. After speaking, his hand moved up her waist. Yi Xuanfei pushed Tianhan's hand away. She was so angry that her lungs hurt. Back when she was still the eldest miss, who dared to treat her like this? Okay, I'll give you $100,000. Help me settle this matter immediately. I'll think of a way to get you out of the country. Then Yi Xuanfei immediately took out her phone and transferred $100,000 to Tianhan. Tianhan smiled and took out a big bag, putting Jechi into it. Don't worry, eldest Mississippi. I'll help you settle this at the back of the mountain. Before he left, he even blew Yi Xuanfei a kiss. Tianhan originally thought that he really treated her as a goddess. Before the Eastern aristocratic family fell, he would be obedient to her. But she didn't expect that when something big happened at home, this person would show his true colors. Relying on his spiritual power, he actually threatened her time and time again. Yi Xuanfei hated him so much that she wanted to kill him. Now she actually had to be threatened by this kind of person. To her, who had always been proud and arrogant, this was simply a humiliation. Yi Xuanfei calmed herself down. No matter what, she had successfully mixed into the bridesmaids' team. Everything would go according to her plan soon. Yan Ran, in this kind of situation, I'll make it impossible for you to guard against me. Yi Xuanfei sprayed some perfume into her flower sprinkles, and finally suppressed the smell of sulfuric acid. Although there was still a strange smell, at such a chaotic moment, she believed that no one would be able to detect it. The atmosphere at the scene was very lively. The host, Han Ming, was really working hard to warm up the atmosphere of Qiao Xiao and Yinran's wedding. The audience at the scene screamed excitedly even before they officially watched the ceremony. The countdown starts now. In 10 seconds, accompanied by the beautiful, lyrical, and romantic wedding march. At this happy moment, our beautiful bride will be personally handed over to the groom by her father. Best men and bridesmaids, please sprinkle fragrant rose petals on the red carpet and weave a flower-like dream for them. We wish that they can bask in the joy and blessings of their friends and create a beautiful future. A bright red carpet stretched from the main entrance of the banquet hall all the way to the center of the stage. With the last sound of the countdown, the lights in the hall dimmed, and all the spotlights shone on the red carpet in the middle. The heavy doors slowly opened, and the fairy-like bride held her father's arm and walked slowly from the end of the red carpet. The bride's father looked especially nervous, but the bride's eyes were calm and composed. The end of the red carpet could be seen at a glance. At this moment, Yanran looked directly opposite her. There was no one waiting for her in the center of the stage. Yanran's father whispered to her, "What should we do? Yanran, what should we do when we reach the center of the stage, and there is no groom?" But Yanran's expression didn't change. She held her father's arm tightly and led him forward slowly and firmly. On both sides of the red carpet, the best men and bridesmaids were holding small flower baskets and scattering delicate rose petals on the red carpet. At this time, white smoke floated up from both sides of the red carpet. The staff at the scene turned on special equipment, and the rose petals danced in the air, as if the elves on the red carpet were playing the wedding march for the newlyweds. The bridesmaids and best men, who were scattering petals under the stage, were especially nervous. They also saw that there was no groom at all on the other side of the stage. Zhang Daong was so nervous that he couldn't breathe. He was so nervous that his whole body was trembling. He was so nervous that he felt like his soul was leaving his body. He scattered the petals mechanically and watched Yanran and her father walk slowly past him. They were about to pass the best men's area and go to the bridesmaids' area. They were halfway there, but there was no one on the other side at all. Yanran walked slowly, and the rose petals danced in front of and behind her. The audience around her exclaimed in admiration. She knew that this scene must be very beautiful. "Xiao Xiao, are you willing to miss such a beautiful scene? If you still don't appear, I won't be able to hold on any longer." Yanran saw the best men and bridesmaids waving their hands from the corner of her eye. They all had serious expressions and were like puppets. She glanced at them and was about to continue looking forward when suddenly, a special figure attracted her attention. She took a closer look and saw that this bridesmaid was different from the others. Everyone else was scattering petals mechanically, but only this bridesmaid was staring at her and smiling strangely. Her white-gloved hand was holding a handful of rose petals and throwing them at her. Yi Xuanfei. Yinran was alarmed. The spiritual energy around her rolled forward, and the petals that Yi Xuanfei threw at her were swept up into the air, like a gust of wind. Then the petals were thrown back at Yi Xuanfei. Then, Yi Xuanfei screamed and fell to the ground. She covered her face and neck, as well as her exposed skin, and rolled on the ground. The sudden change in the scene shocked all the guests. The music stopped abruptly, and the lights were turned on. At this moment, everyone saw a bridesmaid screaming in fear. My face, my face. At this moment, Yi Xuanfei was covering her face and rolling on the ground in pain. The other bridesmaids were nearby, and they were the first to discover what was going on. A pungent smell spread throughout the venue. It's sulfuric acid, sulfuric acid. She actually has sulfuric acid on her. Everyone ran to the side and saw that Yi Xuanfei's clothes had been burned with several holes by the sulfuric acid. And because of the rose petals splashed on her skin, it was immediately burned into a few scars. Suddenly someone screamed. She actually had sulfuric acid in her rose petals just now. Someone come and arrest her. Chapter 323. At this time, Yi Xuanfei had already climbed up from the ground while enduring the pain. She looked at Yinran viciously, her eyes flashing with madness. Yinran, don't even think about marrying Xiao Xiao. I won't let you win. At this moment a sudden change occurred. Yi Xuanfei took out a porcelain bottle and waved it at Yinran's face. The pungent smell of sulfuric acid rushed into Yinran's nose. Yinran could have dodged directly, but her father was beside her. She had no choice but to push him down. As a result, she couldn't dodge in time, and only had time to turn her face to the side. However, there were still bits and pieces of sulfuric acid falling on her neck. Immediately, a burning pain spread all over her body. Then she heard Yi Xuanfei shouting hysterically, I can't have Xiao Xiao, and you can't have him either. I'm going to disfigure you today. Let's see how he will like you again. Also, do you dare to tell the whole world that Xiao Xiao isn't here today? How are you going to deal with this later? Don't think that your wedding alone will be recognized by everyone. If there's no groom at the wedding, who will you marry? The security guards at the scene rushed forward to pull Yi Xuanfei away, but Yi Xuanfei was very strong. She kept shouting, There's no groom at all. You've all been deceived by him. There's no groom. There's no groom. The audience was shocked by this sudden turn of events. They had been wondering if there was no groom at all since they had not seen him at all. The fans outside the door and online fans watching the live broadcast had long been dissatisfied. Why was the bride the only one performing? Why wasn't there a groom? The person they wanted to see was Xiao Xiao. Zhang Deong and the other groomsmen and bridesmaids all lowered their heads in shame. They knew very well that there was no Xiao Xiao at all. The show was ruined. Who said there's no groom? Before the host Han Ming could react, the microphone in his hand was snatched away by someone. A voice full of energy spread throughout the venue. Then a ruffian voice came from the microphone. Dear friends and family, please forgive me for being late. I wanted to give you a surprise, but I didn't expect it to become a shock. Today is Yinran's and my big day. I didn't expect some demons and monsters to make trouble at my wedding banquet. I had to ask 2 comrades from the Civil Affairs Bureau to witness our marriage on the spot. So I was stuck in a traffic jam on the way. I came a little late and almost caused my bride to suffer. Now, what do you think I should do? Everyone was stunned by the sudden appearance of Xiao Xiao. The first to react was Yinran. She sat on the ground and covered her neck. She looked at Xiao Xiao with tears in her eyes and a smile. Then came the 23 best men and bridesmaids. They immediately cheered. They were the closest friends of the bride and groom. Xiao Xiao walked quickly to Yinran. He knelt down on one leg and looked at Yinran in the eye. He first said to her father, I'm sorry. I made you worry. I'm back. I hope you'll still be willing to give Yanran to me. I swear that I'll make her happy for the rest of her life. Yenjika's father was finally relieved. He looked at his daughter's always calm face and sighed in his heart. No matter how many complaints he had, they all disappeared at this time. As long as his child was willing, everything was fine. He handed Yanran's hand to Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao immediately grasped it tightly and put it on his chest. At this time, Yanran felt Xiao Xiao's wildly beating heart. Xiao Xiao didn't immediately pull Yanran up. Instead, he first checked her neck and saw that there were 2 obvious scars caused by sulfuric acid. His heart trembled. He gently touched it with his devil energy. The scars on the surface were still there, but the pain inside immediately lessened a lot. I'm sorry, Yanran. I made you worry. At this time, Yi Xuanfei looked at Xiao Xiao in surprise. She struggled to break free from the security guard who was holding her. Brother Qiao, I'm here. I'm Xuanfei. Don't marry her. You're mine. Xiao Xiao turned to Yi Xuanfei. Yi Xuanfei, let me tell you seriously, Yanran is my favorite. Yanran has already forgiven you for all the bad things you've done. But I didn't expect you to be so unrepentant. If I hadn't saved Jechi, I wouldn't have known that you were so vicious. Today, you even wanted to use sulfuric acid to disfigure Yanran. Yi Xuanfei, you've made all the sympathy I had for you disappear. I've brought the police. What awaits you is life in prison. At this time, Yi Xuanfei realized that Jechi and Tianhan had returned to the scene. At this time, Jechi rushed forward and slapped Yi Xuanfei. She was so angry that her whole body trembled. We were classmates, but you actually took advantage of my kindness to harm Yanran. In the end, after I found out, you actually knocked me out and let this man drag me to the back of the mountain to destroy my body. But this man's lust didn't change. He even wanted to rape me before he died. Fortunately, Brother Qiao saved my life. Yi Xuanfei, I really didn't expect you to be such a vicious woman. The police came forward and took Yi Xuanfei away from the security guard. The farce finally came to an end. The host looked at the scene and said, It's really a wonderful show. Everyone here didn't come in vain today. I just found out that Tianhan is a wanted criminal. Today, we can be considered to have done the people a favor by using the wedding to lure these 2 people out. There's more happiness when there's suffering. I believe that after this couple has cleared the obstacles, they'll walk towards a happier life in the future. Next, let's welcome today's male and female leads onto the stage. From this moment onwards, Yanran, Xiao Xiao, Zhang Deong, and the rest revealed happy smiles on their faces. Everyone watched as the couple walked onto the stage. The man was dressed in a white custom-made suit and had a peerless face like invincible. At this moment, he was handsome like a tree in the wind, like Pan in the mortal world, charming thousands of girls. The woman beside him was like an orchid in an empty valley, a cuckoo in the cold, a hibiscus out of the water, a snow lotus on an iceberg. The 2 of them smiled faintly and looked at each other. It was the kind of heart that was connected. It was the kind of love that spanned thousands of mountains and rivers. It was the kind of love that could not be tolerated by the world after experiencing countless pains and sorrows, and still walking together resolutely. The tenderness and sweetness between the 2 of them was like honey, like syrup, like the sweetest Sufan mystery fruit in the world. It was so thick that it couldn't be melted. The witness of the Civil Affairs Bureau issued a marriage certificate to them on the spot, proving that they had become legal husband and wife. Ma Xiaoxian poked Zhang Deong with his elbow and said, Have you noticed that Brother Qiao seems to be a little retarded when he smiles? A little. Since he and Sister Yanran got together, he basically hasn't been normal. Do you think we can use the tricks we used to disturb the bridal chamber when he's in a good mood? I think we can. Tonight, we can finally be the masters. Zhang Deong and Ma Xiaoxian secretly discussed for a long time. Suddenly, Lu Hui squeezed in from behind. What's Qiao Zhao's expression when he saw the gift I gave him last time? Zhang Deong said proudly. He came in a hurry today and the gift is still in the office. If he wants to take it back today, we have to disturb the bridal chamber and have fun. Lu Hui gave Zhang Deong a thumbs up and said, You are indeed his brother. He can't wait for you 2 to get more and more fierce. Okay, Now I announce that the groom can kiss the bride. The host Han Ming announced loudly. Everyone in the audience began to shout loudly. Wait a minute, my camera isn't ready yet. Wait a minute. The fans told me that it must be 360 degrees without any blind spots. Wait a minute, let me change the angle. Xiao Xiao smiled at Yanran and said, look at the voice of the crowd. We have to follow it. Let's create the kiss of the century. He directly leaned over and hugged Yanran's waist. Yanran was directly leaned back by him. Xiao Xiao leaned over and kissed Yanran. The long-lost breath actually made Yanran tremble. After Xiao Xiao kissed Yanran, he began to hold her and spin her around the entire stage. The two of them kissed as they spun. After kissing for a full minute, Xiao Xiao stopped. Yanran's face was flushed. Xiao Xiao asked the audience in a satisfied voice, did you capture all 360 degrees without any blind spots? The audience replied in unison, yes. Then there was a burst of laughter. The atmosphere became more and more heated. Passionate music sounded. Xiao Xiao, as the groom, brought a wild song and dance on the stage. He loudly shouted, this dance is dedicated to my goddess, my lover, my wife, Yanran. Yanran's eyes were filled with tears. This man who was as hot as the sun was her lover, her male idol, and the person she would rely on for her entire life. At this time, a white-haired old man silently walked up from behind her. Crown Princess, I've made you worried during this time. The bridal room has been prepared. You can go directly in a while. Yanran turned around and saw the amiable Uncle Wu. She smiled with tears in her eyes and shook her head. Uncle Wu, don't apologize. It was Xiao Xiao who saved me. Is he all right now? Uncle Wu nodded hard. His Highness the Crown Prince was unconscious for 2 weeks after the last treatment. He just woke up this morning and immediately rushed over. He finally made it. Yanran turned back to look at Xiao Xiao, who was wildly singing and dancing on the stage. He did not look tired at all. Yanran's heart ached and a line of tears fell down. Xiao Xiao danced to the end and rushed over. He carried Yanran onto the stage and spun 3 times. His happy appearance shocked the audience. When the fans in front of the live broadcast saw such a happy Xiao Xiao, they had complicated feelings. When their idol got married, they felt sour as if they had drunk aged vinegar. But when they saw their idols so happy, the smiles on their faces almost overflowed the screen. It had to be said that Xiao Xiao's appearance at this time surpassed any other time in the past. As the saying goes, one's appearance is born from one's heart. Xiao Xiao did not need to put on any pretense or makeup. As long as he showed his true feelings on his face, he was the most charming man in the world. A fan took the lead and started to cry. Then 1, 2, 3, a group of fans cried loudly in front of the screen. It was unknown whether they were mourning their own fantasies or being moved by their idol's happiness. Xiao Xiao's 1-minute kiss of the century was captured by a 360-degree camera, without any blind spots. It was replayed on a loop on the internet, and became extremely popular. When it was first uploaded, the entire Weibo was paralyzed for 5 minutes. The two's fairy tale-like appearance, affectionate lips intertwined, and the initial exchange of affectionate eyes to the closing of both parties' eyes. It was simply a well-shot romance film. There was no need for a director, no need for positioning. As long as they acted themselves, they could win the Best Actor and Actress award. The atmosphere at the scene, the atmosphere on the internet, and the atmosphere outside the venue was surprisingly hot. On this magical day, the first day of the new year, the feelings were transmitted, fermented, and touched every lover in the world. Chapter 324. Finally, it was time for the bride and groom to change their clothes. Xiao Xiao pulled Yanran into the hotel room. The groomsmen and bridesmaids were locked outside. We can do it ourselves. Xiao Xiao's voice sounded from inside the room, followed by the sound of a wall being pressed against the wall. Zhang Daong and the others smiled wretchedly at the door. Brother Qiao, it's not time for the wedding night yet. Yanran pinched Xiao Xiao's waist and blushed. What are you doing? Xiao Xiao pressed Yanran against the wall and carefully looked at Yanran's coquettish eyes. I want to take a good look at my wife. Aran, I'm finally your husband. Yanran pursed her lips and smiled. The word husband came from Xiao Zhao's mouth. It was a very strange feeling. Xiao Zhao's eyes were straight. He whispered in Yinran's ear, "Yinran, don't laugh. You're as beautiful as a fairy today. I really want to take you back immediately and let your beauty bloom only for me. Don't make me lose control in public." Yinran immediately glared at him. The flirtatious look in her eyes could not be hidden. "Wife, I love you." The sweet promise came out like this. "Husband, I love you too." Hormones were really strange things. Just a few words could make him so excited. The passionate kiss began. Until Zhang Deong knocked on the door. "It's time for the toast." The two of them reluctantly parted, a silver thread connecting the two of them ambiguously. Xiao Xiao pressed her forehead against Yinran and panted loudly. "It's time to change clothes." Yinran reminded him with a red face. Xiao Xiao pressed his forehead against hers and asked, "Where's the dress?" "It's in that cabinet." Xiao Xiao took the bright red clothes. The material was very good, like silk, satin, and brocade. There were so many ribbons on it that Xiao Xiao couldn't straighten them out even after trying for a long time. "I didn't think it was so complicated when I designed it. How did it end up like this?" "You designed all the clothes?" "Of course. At the wedding, I felt that it would be a very fulfilling thing for you to wear the clothes that I personally designed for you. Moreover, I measured them personally. Look at how suitable they are." Yinran glared at him. "Hooligan. Aran, we are now legally married. This is not called being a hooligan. This is called having fun between husband and wife. Now, I will put it on for you personally. This is such an exciting thing. I have also designed many sets of sexy underwear. We can try them tonight." The more Xiao Xiao spoke, the more unreliable he became. His hands, which were helping Yinran put on her clothes, also became more and more dishonest. In the end, Yinran directly drove him out and called in several bridesmaids. Finally, the complicated dress was finished. Zhang Deong and others saw Xiao Xiao being driven out and laughed. "Brother Qiao, you are too impatient. The bride is not so easy to be obedient. There are many sets of procedures in the wedding. You have to go through them one by one to fulfill your wish. Are you guys seizing the opportunity today?" Xiao Xiao asked them mischievously. "This is a once-in-a-lifetime day. Brother Qiao, you should admit defeat today. We haven't tried the blocking at the door in the morning. Later, we will make up for it. You guys can play and make trouble, but don't delay my business tonight. I will help you make the atmosphere as hot as possible. I will definitely let you go home with pleasure." The key was that there were a group of bridesmaids. Xiao Xiao thought for a while. It turned out that there were still 24 mountains in front of him to climb over. Next was the toast. Xiao Xiao looked at Yinran in a red dress and couldn't take his eyes off her. But soon he felt that something was wrong. He ran back to the room, took out a white shawl, and shone it on Yinran's smooth shoulders. "Yinran, it's winter now. Don't catch a cold." Yinran felt that the air conditioner in the room was as high as 30 degrees. "I'm not cold." Zhang Deong and others laughed together. "That's because Brother Qiao thinks you are cold." Xiao Xiaoyan, as a stylist, immediately came out to express her opinion. Brother Qiao's red dress with a white shawl is a bit out of place. These two styles are different. One is a summer dress, and the other is a winter dress. It won't look good in the photos. Then Xiao Xiao saw Yinran take off the shawl and put it directly into his arms. Then she lifted her skirt and was about to go downstairs. He rubbed his nose and felt that those white shoulders looked so alluring. The two walked downstairs side by side. Yinran whispered to him, "I remember that you can't hold your liquor well. Don't get drunk later." Who would have thought that Xiao Xiao would proudly raise her eyebrows and say to Yinran, "I brought a kind of medicinal pill from the demon realm that will keep you from getting drunk after 1,000 cups. Let's see how your husband will show you later. You have this pill? Then give me one too." Xiao Xiao took out a small box from his pocket. It was divided into 2 layers, and there were several white pills on top and bottom. He took out one of them and handed it to Yinran. "What are the other pills?" Xiao Xiao felt inexplicably guilty. He closed the box and put it into his arms. "You will know later." Then the couple flew among the guests like butterflies. The 48 groomsmen and bridesmaids stared at Xiao Xiao and Yinran with their mouths agape. They didn't refuse any of the drinks. Soon, dozens of glasses of strong liquor were drunk, but nothing happened to them. Zhang Daong pulled Qiao Xiao and said, "Brother Qiao, the alcohol is very high. It's 52 degrees. Can you handle it later? Don't delay the business tonight. Do you want me to help you?" Unexpectedly, Qiao Xiao waved his hand and said, "They are all here to attend our wedding. If the groom doesn't drink, they will think that he is dishonest. It's okay, Brother Qiao. I will not get drunk even after 1,000 glasses." Although Qiao Xiao said so, no matter how good the medicine was, it couldn't withstand him drinking like this. Yanran looked at him and was a little worried. Before Qiao Xiao could finish speaking, he was pulled over by a group of university classmates. They pressed him down on a stool and said, "Brother Qiao, you're the most representative school hunk of our University of Nanchuan. You're the top celebrity in the entertainment industry, the darling of the IT industry. And now that you've won the heart of a beauty, you're a winner in life. You're the idol of all our classmates. Today, we're not going home until we're drunk." Zhang Daong and the others immediately came up to persuade Qiao Xiao. But these brothers were usually classmates in Qiao Xiao's laboratory, and their relationship was very good. Qiao Xiao was really embarrassed to refuse them. He looked at these people and saw that they were almost drunk. Their tongues began to knot. When he was about to speak, Yanran unexpectedly appeared beside him. "Brothers, I am also your classmate. Would you like me to propose a toast to you?" Sister-in-law came to propose a toast in person. "That is giving us a lot of face. Come, let's drink." Yanran said directly, "I will drink 3 glasses. Everyone do as you please." Yanran directly took 3 medium-sized goblets and gulped them down, leaving these people dumbfounded. Although Yanran said to do as they pleased, they were all men and didn't dare to be so casual. They could only drink 3 glasses each. In this way, Yanran drank a table of people alone. When they arrived at the territory of the cultivation world, everyone stood up straight and in the same posture. The aura of a soldier instantly burst out. They collectively said in a serious tone, "We wish Principal Yen a happy marriage. We wish you 100 years of bliss. And we hope that you will have children soon. You'll have 2 in 1 year, 4 in 2 years, 8 in 4 years." The entire place immediately burst into laughter as they watched this group of bloodthirsty men use the most serious tone to say the most hilarious words. Qiao Xiao liked to hear this. Little Six took the lead and asked Qiao Xiao to show everyone what he could do. Their president Yen couldn't just get married without knowing the reason. Qiao Xiao thought for a moment, then silently recited the incantation. The totem on his chest flashed, and the people at the table were all taken to a beautiful paradise. There were many fruit trees, beautiful mountains, and a huge waterfall pouring down from the top. The group of rough men laughed and wanted to rush in. It was so cool to take a cold bath on a hot day. They all began to undress. Yanran saw that the situation was getting out of hand, so she immediately dispelled Qiao Xiao's array. Little Six looked down at his naked upper body, then looked at the people at the table next to him. He laughed and gave Qiao Xiao a thumbs up. "I admire you, Brother Qiao." During the process of their toasts, the celebrities on stage also came to support Qiao Xiao. One after another, wonderful performances made the audience and fans watching the live broadcast think that it was the New Year's Eve concert. This was an exciting first day of the new year, and the wedding banquet finally came to a successful end after many twists and turns. At the end of the wedding, the gifts that Yanran and Qiao Xiao gave everyone far exceeded their share of the wedding. At the same time, for the fans who couldn't attend the wedding in person, they printed out the latest news of their wedding. They could receive it for free and send it for free. Those fans who were originally sour in their hearts finally got some consolation. However, they still regretted that the godlike Brother Qiao in their hearts had finally been stamped with someone else's seal tonight. They could no longer do whatever they wanted. After sending off all the guests, there was only a group of relatives and friends left. They were all young people who refused to leave. They said solemnly, "We came here today for the wedding night. We have prepared a very wonderful performance for Qiao Xiao and Yanran to enjoy. We must let them have a very successful wedding night." In this way, A long line of cars drove directly from the downtown area to Xiao Zhao's house. On the first night of the new year, they swaggered through the streets of Nanchuan. Every car was incomparably luxurious and beautifully decorated. The atmosphere was completely different from when they were driving to the hotel. Yanran was directly taken away by a group of bridesmaids and sat in the first few cars with them. Xiao Xiao was held down by a group of groomsmen and sat in the last few cars. Before leaving, the bridesmaids shouted in unison, "If you want your bride, you have to pass through our 24 checkpoints first." These girls had been worried for the whole day. Although the wedding night was finally a successful one, their hearts were still full of fear. No matter what, they had to get back at Xiao Xiao. Yanran knew in her heart. Although she felt sorry for Xiao Xiao, she said that she couldn't be angry on a big day. She could only pretend that she couldn't resist, and was pulled away by the group of girls. Before leaving, she only had time to give Xiao Xiao a look of encouragement. Chapter 325. The long line of cars surrounded Xiao Zhao's villa in a circle. The end of the line was connected to the end, and there was a large space in the middle. Zhang Dayang had been here before. He asked Xiao Xiao strangely, "What's going on? Your house seems to have grown bigger." Xiao Xiao took a look. Indeed, the courtyard of their house had expanded outwards. At first glance, it really did look like his crown prince palace in the Devil Realm. He knew that Uncle Wu must have thought of a way to temporarily increase the size of the house. Xiao Xiao couldn't help but feel nervous. He didn't know if Uncle Wu had finished everything. The new house wouldn't be the same as before he left, right? How sad would Yanran be if she saw it? After a while, he heard a group of bridesmaids exclaim inside. Then he actually heard Yanran's laughter. His heart was finally at ease. The house had obviously been renovated. Nothing could be seen from the outside, but the interior was decorated in the same style as the Crown Prince Palace. It was decorated with carved railings and painted rafters. It was antique. The room was filled with red silk and the quaint furniture. Luminous pearls hung directly from the top. Under the illumination of the lights, they looked like colorful balls, illuminating the entire villa as if it was daytime. The house was filled with the pleasant smell of sandalwood. The ancient books placed on the bookshelves, the guqin erected in the corner, and the full set of gold-rimmed Namu furniture all showed the low-key luxury of the owner of the house. Yanran looked at this brand-new place. The trace of bad memories had disappeared. The only anxiety in her heart had also been soothed. This was her and Xiao Zhao's new home. When the group of bridesmaids surrounded Yanran and sat in her new house, the door was immediately locked. A group of groomsmen surrounded Xiao Xiao and followed behind. They only heard the bridesmaids inside coughing twice. "If you want to hug the beauty today, you must complete our challenge task. The first task is to recite 5 lines of poetry that you have admired for a long time in 1 minute." The group of science and technology guys were dumbfounded. "Hurry up and search for your phone." Before they could finish searching, Xiao Xiao went up and said, "Guan Guan Ju Jiu. In the river continent, a fair and graceful lady is a good match for a gentleman." Fengbo didn't believe that Lingji was weak. Moondew was fragrant. It's useless to be lovesick, but there's no harm in being melancholy. A quiet girl is a beauty, waiting for me in the corner of the city, loving but not seeing, scratching my head in hesitation. A quiet woman is doing her best to please me. Tong Guan Yue said that the woman was beautiful. Since Mu returned to Gue, Sun was beautiful and strange. Bandit women were beautiful, and they were the epitome of beauty. Once you've crossed the sea, you can't be considered water. Apart from Mount Wu, you can't be considered a cloud. I'm too lazy to look back at the flowers. Half of it is cultivation, half of it is Lord. In small red letters, it said that business was done peacefully, and the goose was in the clouds, and the fish was in the water. Melancholy. This feeling is hard to express. The setting sun is leaning against the west tower. The distant mountain is facing the hook of the curtain. I don't know where the human face is. The green waves still flow east. In the eyes of the group of science and technology guys, Xiao Zhao's image immediately became tall. Everyone looked at him from the bottom to the top. "Brother Qiao, no wonder you can get the beauty back. You usually say these words of love so easily. Yinran sat on the bed in the room and smiled knowingly. What a good sentence. Loving but not seeing, scratching my head in hesitation. It really described Xiao Xiao. The bridesmaid, who came up with the first question, had to leave the stage. At this time Ma Xiaoxian shouted, 5 poems count as 5 questions. There's a total of 24 questions. The brothers around him patted Ma Xiaoxian on the shoulder. Not bad. You helped Brother Qiao get rid of 4 bridesmaids in one go. At this time, there was another cough from inside the door. The next question. May I ask what the 3 measurements of the bride are? The best man outside the door burst into laughter. Then he heard the bridesmaids pushing each other inside the door. Yinran laughed and scolded. You can even ask such a restricted question. In the end, the bride's protest was ineffective. All the bridesmaids unanimously asked Xiao Xiao to answer. Xiao Xiao was very clear about this. He opened his mouth and said, I can't tell you Yinran's 3 measurements. Only I know, but I want to prove that I know, because all the bride's dresses were personally designed by me. I measured every inch carefully. If you don't believe me, you can measure it. The bridesmaid in the room said with uncertainty, Sister Yinran, was it really designed by Brother Qiao? Then Yinran smiled and said, Yes. Okay, then you pass this question. Next question. Please recall the specific details of the first kiss between the 2 of you. You need to know the time, place, and scene. Brother Qiao, we also want to know this. Wang Jinyun's eyes were shining as he looked at Xiao Xiao. But he turned around and said that this was an important question. The time, place, and scene were equivalent to 3 questions. Xiao Xiao narrowed his eyes and recalled the scene at that time. Then he smiled mysteriously. Come, let Brother Qiao tell us about his experience. Ma Xiaoxian was the most perceptive. He immediately moved a chair for Xiao Xiao to sit down. When chasing a girl, you need to be steady, accurate, and ruthless. At the crucial moment, you need to do it. The first time Yinran and I kissed was in a movie. Wow! The group of engineering men's eyes were filled with envy. At that time, your brother Qiao. I was quick-witted and directly booked the last 2 rows of seats. Was there such a thing? The 24 engineering men's mouths were wide open. Hee. Then came the most important part. At that time, the scene in the movie happened to show the male and female lead kissing, and then Yinran. Xiao Xiao. Yinran's voice suddenly sounded full of warning. Xiao Xiao was originally sitting with his legs crossed, but at this moment, he suddenly trembled and slid down from the chair. Then Yinran was taken by me. Oh! The 24 groomsmen's word was like a lingering echo, full of meaning. The bridesmaids inside the door were all laughing together. At this time, Xiao Xiao was just warned by Yinran, and worried that the bridesmaids would cause trouble again. He gave Zhang Daong a look and said, Think of a way to get in quickly. Brother Qiao, according to the experience on the internet, if you want to get in, you have to use money. Have you prepared your red packet? Wang Jinyan asked boldly. Shit. I was in a hurry and didn't have time to prepare. Xiao Xiao rolled his eyes and looked at the luminous pearls in the room, and shouted at the door. Dear bridesmaids, I prepared a generous red packet for you. It's the luminous pearls hanging outside the room. Unfortunately, the gap is too small and can't be stuffed in. I don't know if you want it, but the groomsmen outside the door said that they will give you 1 minute. If you don't come out and take it, they will share it with you. Sure enough, within 3 seconds, a group of bridesmaids rushed out. The door of the room was wide open, and the bride was sitting in the middle of the 10-meter bed, laughing and looking at Xiao Xiao. The chair that Xiao Xiao was originally sitting on was placed at the door. When he saw the group of bridesmaids rushing out, he quickly jumped out of the way, and the chair was immediately pushed to the side. Taking advantage of the fact that no one was around, Xiao Xiao immediately rushed into the room and knelt in front of Yinran. He winked and said, Wife, it's really not easy to marry you. Everyone's face was filled with joy. The luminous pearls in their hands illuminated their youthful hearts and faces. At this moment someone said, The door that was blocked in the morning has been fixed. Isn't it time for the bridal chamber to officially begin tonight? Yes. 48 people's voices were loud and powerful, and it was as if they were going to flip the roof of the room over. Xiao Xiao immediately said in advance. Time is limited, let's play for a while more. We can't delay my business with Yin Ran. Brother Qiao, it's not even 10 o'clock. Why are you in a hurry? Is it not Brother Qiao who is in a hurry, but sister-in-law who is in a hurry? Xiao Xiao laughed and scolded. You bunch of brats, it's fine if you make fun of me, but you dare to make fun of your sister-in-law. All of you are tired of living. Next, the game began. From eating apples to peeling bananas, from lighting matches to blowing peanuts, from finding chocolates to drinking wine together. A group of unrestrained young people tormented Xiao Xiao and Yin Ran. Xiao Xiao finally said, You bunch of brats, wait, see if I won't torment you to death in the future. The atmosphere in the bridal room became more and more enthusiastic. At 12 o'clock, fireworks were released outside the window. Everyone went to the window and watched the beautiful fireworks connect into a line, stringing a few big words. Xiao Xiao loves Yin Ran. Wow. Yin Ran thought back to the night before New Year's Day, when she stood alone in front of the window. Compared to the lively night today, the wound in her heart was filled to the brim. She looked at Xiao Xiao's side profile, her long eyelashes fluttering due to the sparkling fireworks. She smiled more than she had in the past 20 years. Xiao Xiao's promise echoed in her ears. Yin Ran, I will definitely bring you happiness. Tonight, she was really happy. After the fireworks finished, Zhang Deong pushed in a shelf with all kinds of props and equipment. Brother Qiao, choose yourself. We will give you all 18 types of martial arts to help you improve some of your skills. Xiao Xiao's eyes widened. Did you guys empty the sex shop? This is a token of our best man's appreciation for you. That's all for tonight. The rest of the time is yours. After that, the best man and bridesmaids dispersed and left with their night-luminescent pearls. Finally, it was quiet. Looking at the mess in the bridal room, Xiao Xiao and Yin Ran looked at each other and smiled bitterly. Although it was a lively night, this group of people really made a mess. Ah Xiao, my image is completely ruined tonight. Do you think it's a good idea for me to go somewhere far away tomorrow? Yin Ran's hair was already messy, her makeup was also ruined, and her clothes were stained black by the chocolate. Aran, do you not believe in your husband's ability? Do you think you can get out of bed tomorrow? Xiao Xiao's clothes were also crumpled at this time, and his face was already full of lipstick marks from Yin Ran's kisses. Bah, you pervert! Yin Ran poked Xiao Xiao's forehead with a finger. Yesterday, I was a pervert, but today I'm a licensed pervert. Aran, from today onwards, we should have 7 consecutive days of fooling around. Yin Ran spat at him. Uncle Wu said that you just woke up this morning, and your body hasn't recovered yet. You should rest well today. Aran, I heard that you can't stop once you've started. Otherwise, it's not good for your body. You see, I've been holding it in for more than a month. Out of consideration for my body, I can't rest today, right? Yin Ran got up, bypassed Xiao Xiao's wolf claws, and ran to the bathroom. Tonight, Yin Ran, the little white rabbit, was destined to be unable to escape. The big bad wolf, Xiao Xiao, followed closely behind, and the room immediately heated up. Chapter 326. If Uncle Wu hadn't interrupted the legal fooling day, it would have lasted for at least 7 days. During this period, Xiao Xiao would call Uncle Wu every once in a while, drink water, change the sheets and get food. Then he would carry Yin Ran into the bathroom. When the two of them came out of the bathroom again, everything outside had been refreshed, and there was water of suitable temperature, a box of pills, and fragrant food at the bedside. Aran, baby, come drink more water. Yin Ran's mouth was stuffed full. I don't want to drink, I'm stuffed. Be good, your voice is hoarse, and the sheets are wet because of you. You need to replenish your water now. Yin Ran almost spat out a mouthful of rice. It's all because of you who don't know how to control yourself. Yin Ran rubbed her waist while pinching Xiao Xiao. She was extremely depressed in her heart. In any case, she was a cultivator above the divine void stage. She didn't expect that she would be tormented by Xiao Xiao until her waist and back were sore. She stared at Xiao Xiao. Don't torment me like this. I'm going to sleep for a while. I'm exhausted. Xiao Xiao picked up a pill on the table and fed it to Yin Ran. What is this? This is a good thing brought back from the devil realm. It's for you to replenish your energy. After eating it, your waist won't be sore anymore. Xiao Xiao looked at Yinran with gentle eyes, and at the same time, there was a bit of slyness in his eyes. Yinran obediently took it, but after a while, she found that a fire came directly from her dantian, and Xiao Xiao was smiling like a fox in front of her. She gradually felt that her mouth was dry, and Xiao Xiao's thin lips opened and closed, as if he was sending a silent invitation. Then Yinran had no choice but to pounce on the delicious food in front of her. Xiao Xiao pretended to dodge. Wife, you're making it difficult for your husband to take the initiative. Cut the crap, you damned fox. I've been tricked by you again. Then a happy and harmonious march began in the bedroom. On the third day, Uncle Wu knocked on the door. Crown Prince, Crown Princess, today is the day of your return. The gifts have been prepared. You can get up now. When the two of them sat in Yinran's living room, it was already time for lunch. Mother Yin looked at the two people who were in high spirits. Her daughter was really charming. She was relieved. It seemed that everything was going well. After lunch, she pulled Yinran aside and asked in detail what happened on the wedding day. But Yinran's answer was hesitant. Mother Yin was a bit angry. Daughter, what do you have to say to father and mother? Xiao Xiao is good at everything, but when it comes to something as important as the wedding, he really made us worry for an entire day. Mother doesn't understand the matters of your cultivation world, but if this kind of thing keeps happening in the future, won't you be the one to suffer? Mother's words stirred up the uneasiness in Yinran's heart again. She couldn't tell her mother that Xiao Xiao was from the demon world, but for many people, that was also an untouchable space. After returning home that night, she refused Xiao Xiao's hand when he wanted to pull her into the bedroom and had him sit in the living room. Xiao Xiao, I've been led astray by you these 2 days. I haven't asked you properly, what's with the hole in your chest? Yinran no longer smiled mischievously with Xiao Xiao and asked him very seriously. Yinran, first of all, I'll correct your faulty wording. You weren't led astray by me. I was led astray by you. Yinran was speechless. That's not the point. Speak properly. Yinran, do you think it doesn't look good? I haven't had time to repair it yet. In 2 days, I'll use a good medicinal pill to eliminate it. Then it won't be an eyesore to you. Xiao Xiao, don't talk about other things. Speak properly. Yinran was a little angry. Xiao Xiao saw that he couldn't muddle through anymore, so he had to tell the truth. That day, I saw that you were in pain when you were cursed. Later, I went to the study on the 2nd floor and found a lot of books. One of the books taught me a way to transfer the curse from your body to mine through consummation. But if I told you clearly, you definitely wouldn't be willing. So I had to lie to you and say that I could communicate with the demon world that night. You know what happened after that? Yinran's eyelashes trembled. Then how did you cure it? Don't mention this matter. Uncle Wu thought I was going to die, so he brought me to the demon world. The demon doctor in the demon world was my Uncle One. He still had to study it, so he delayed for so long. Otherwise, I would have come back long ago. Yinran listened to Xiao Zhao's evasive words. She played it down. Then why did you sleep for half a month? Isn't that because Uncle Wen's medicine wasn't enough? He only removed more than half of the curse in my body, and then I had to rely on myself to carry the remaining half. Yinran, don't you think I'm amazing? Xiao Xiao looked like a pug, almost wagging his tail for praise. Yinran looked at Xiao Zhao's ruffian appearance and her heart swelled. Xiao, thank you, you saved me again. I say, Ran, you're treating me like an outsider. I'm your husband. Isn't it natural to save you? Yinran looked at Xiao Xiao as he said it casually. It was as if his kindness to her was engraved in his bones and blood. Even if it was easy to give up her life, it was as if it was a piece of cake. She stepped forward and hugged him. Xiao, I don't want to lose you again. Next time, promise me that you won't do such a stupid thing again. And I want to know the way to go to the demon world. I don't want to experience the powerlessness of having no way to heaven and no door to hell again. Xiao Xiao stopped laughing. Yinran, are you really willing to go back to the demon world with me? Xiao Xiao turned and said. Yinran, You have so much responsibility and mission in the human world that you haven't completed yet. You can't go back with me now, but you're the crown princess of the demon world. Since you're the person I've decided on, I'll definitely bring you back to acknowledge your ancestors. People in the demon world live a long life. In this life, I'll accompany you in the human world. In the next life, you'll accompany me back to the demon world, okay? Yanran raised her head and looked at Xiao Xiao seriously. Xiao, wherever you are, I'll be there. However, Yanran suddenly blinked. Tell me, how old are you? Xiao Xiao's eyes suddenly began to wander. Yanran, let's not talk about this question first, okay? No, tell me quickly, are you an old monster? How could I be an old monster? You see, I'm handsome, it's just that I don't age easily. What about me? If I become an old woman, and you're still like this, what should I do? No, Yanran, didn't you see that I brought a lot of pills? Those are for you. After you master the hibiscus chart, you'll be like me, living a long life. Then let me ask you another question. Last time, Uncle Wu said that I can't go to the demon world. What should I do in the future? At this moment, Uncle Wu quietly appeared. Crown Princess, blood and milk fusion is the greatest authorization. As long as you have a little crown prince in the future, you'll officially become a member of the demon world. The happy married life began. Xiao Xiao and Yanran, these two human-shaped dog food dispensers, were too ostentatious. It felt good to show off their love, and it felt good to keep showing off their love. It had been showing off for almost a year, and it really felt good. In the beginning, Xiao Xiao liked to post beautiful photos of himself on his WeChat moments, but he changed to posting photos of him and Yanran showing off their love. Every time, there would be a line of people below. Gluten that loves to eat dumplings. Ever since Brother Qiao got married, he transformed into a titanium alloy dog and blinded us. Waves with you. Ever since Brother Qiao got married, my WeChat moments mainly produced dog food lemon-flavored. Long life. Let's accompany in the mortal world, eat white and fat. Sand sculpture crossing the river. Why is it Valentine's Day again? I haven't digested the dog food I ate last year. Walking snow, I'm withered. Pandora's box. Brother Qiao is showing off his love again. When will he send me a partner? Gathering at the village entrance to steal the goose. Showing off your love every day, Brother Qiao. Have you considered the feelings of your fans? Xiao Xiao also completely changed from a playboy to a hardworking young man. Since he married Yanran, he had a smooth journey in the entertainment circle. After the design of the security system was patented, a lot of orders flew to Star Entertainment Technology. Xiao Xiao was distressed that Yanran was so worried about the matters of the cultivation world. She had paid too much, and she would call him every day to praise him. Xiao, you are so powerful, you can definitely do it. Xiao Xiao immediately felt dizzy and disoriented. He spread out his hands. There was no way, so he had to work hard to make money to support the family. After the marriage, no matter how busy Yanran was, she would still think of buying gifts for Xiao Xiao, and Xiao Xiao would send things to Yanran every 3 to 5 days. Sending gifts to each other all year round, 5/20, 13/14 was even more busy. The most important thing after sending gifts was to post it on WeChat moments. Don't ask if you ask, you will always show off your love. And he promised to give Yanran even more tricks. With the totem, he could take Yanran wherever she wanted to go. Before going to bed, he thought of a good place, and Xiao Xiao would take Yanran there. Sometimes in the prairie, sometimes in the clouds. The most wonderful thing was that except for the flocks of cattle and sheep and the clouds, the whole space was empty. The crown prince of the devil world could do whatever he wanted. Yanran always wanted to escape immediately at this moment, but she was always chased back by Xiao Xiao. Aran, don't be shy. There is no one else here except us. I promise to make you tremble with excitement. Next time, it will be more addictive. When Yanran supported her waist that was about to break, and returned to the bedroom with a flushed face, she generally had to take all kinds of medicinal pills given by Xiao Xiao. Aran, be good, eat and sleep for a day. If you don't eat, you will sleep for 3 days. At this time, Yanran didn't even have the strength to glare at him. About 2 years passed in this sweet way. Suddenly one day, Uncle Wu suddenly said, I seem to have felt the breath of the little crown prince. Crown princess, you should have been authorized to become a member of the devil world. Before Yinran could react, Xiao Xiao jumped 3 feet high and shouted ecstatically, Yinran, my crown princess, I am going to be a father. Seeing Yinran's belly grow bigger day by day, Xiao Xiao forbade Yinran to go out again. Every day, he would lie on Yinran's belly and listen to the movements of the little guy inside. If he was kicked, he would be foolishly happy. In the last month before she gave birth, Xiao Xiao directly asked for leave, turned down all filming assignments, and focused on accompanying her at home. Every day, he accompanied Yinran to exercise in the back mountains. If they didn't walk 10,000 steps, the two of them wouldn't go home. Uncle Wu changed the different kinds of tonics he brought from the devil world for Yinran to eat. When Yinran finished eating, her body would emit heat, and Xiao Xiao would happily get his way. At 3 o'clock in the morning, Yinran said she wanted to eat sour plums. Xiao Xiao didn't hesitate to get up and drive 10 kilometers across the city. He knocked on the door of the room, where she was sleeping, and bought Yinran's favorite at a high price. The time before bed was the happiest for him. He accompanied Yinran in bed and talked. Every day, there were endless words to say, endless pranks to do, and endless kisses to make out. When Yinran fell asleep, he hugged Yinran's big belly and grinned from ear to ear. He imagined his baby son was about to be born, and how wonderful his ideal life was. Day after day he was very happy. It was the kind of happiness that was truly carefree. Everywhere he looked he was shining, haha. Chapter 327. Finally the day of delivery arrived. Yinran had just finished eating a sour plum in the middle of the night, when she began to complain of a stomachache. Xiao Xiao quickly sent Yinran into the delivery room, and followed her in. Yinran was in pain for an entire day and night. Xiao Xiao's heart was in turmoil for an entire day and night. Looking at the teeth marks on his arm and Yinran's sweaty face, he made up his mind to spank the little guy 3 times as soon as he came out. However, Xiao Xiao did not get what he wanted. He only spanked once before the little guy's demonic voice reverberated in his ears. Then the nurse carried him away. He only cared about Yinran, and did not have the heart to care about his son. It was only after Yinran and the child were sent back to the ward that Xiao Xiao began to fiddle with the little guy in front of him. His eyebrows, nose, and eyes were all wrinkled together. He had a cold look on his face, and looked at everything with disdain. Aran, is this our child? Why is he as ugly as a monkey? Yinran was still resting with her eyes closed. Giving birth really exhausted her to the extreme. When she heard Xiao Xiao's words, she immediately waved her hand, gesturing for Xiao Xiao to stop disturbing her. According to our looks, we shouldn't look like this, right? He was still poking the little guy's body with a finger. After a while there was a wah sound. Xiao Xiao was startled. He hurriedly tried to carry Xiao Xiao and coax him, but the little prince did not care about him at all. His 2 hands and 2 legs kept flailing around. Xiao Xiao was not careful, and was immediately kicked twice on his godlike face. Yinran frowned from the noise. She moved her body in the quilt, but her stomach was still in pain. She opened her eyes slightly, and saw the little prince's feet kicking Xiao Xiao's face. She laughed out loud. Bring the child over. He's probably hungry. Xiao Xiao hurriedly handed the little crown prince, who had left him at a loss, to Yinran. Yinran lifted the quilt, and placed the child by her side. It was really strange. The little fellow immediately stopped crying. As if he had smelled something, he wriggled his way into the quilt. Yinran took off her shirt, and began to breastfeed the child. Xiao Xiao looked at the touch of white swaying in front of his eyes. Suddenly, he felt uncomfortable in his heart. He saw the little guy eat until his belly was round and round. Like a satisfied kitten, he burped and lay down on his back. Xiao Xiao picked him up, and threw him on the small bed next to him. The little guy was satisfied, and did not notice how his father did not care about him. He directly fell asleep. Xiao Xiao squeezed into Yinran's quilt. Seeing Yinran close her eyes again and ignore him, he squirmed into the quilt. After a while he raised his head. Aran, there doesn't seem to be any smell. Yinran made a sound. She pushed Xiao Xiao's head away and went back to sleep. On the third night, Xiao Xiao finally took the two babies home from the hospital. As soon as he got home, he said to Uncle Wu, "Yinran is tired these 2 days. Let her have a good rest. The little guy will sleep downstairs with the nanny. It has already been arranged. Your Highness the Crown Prince, rest assured." Uncle Wu waved his hand. Several nannies from the demon realm took care of their duties and arranged all the affairs of the little Crown Prince. At night, only earth-shattering cries could be heard. The lights in the entire villa were all lit up. "Yinran, you don't have to worry. The nanny will take good care of him." Xiao Xiao held Yinran in his arms, turned over, and went back to sleep. Yinran had just fallen asleep after being tossed around by Xiao Xiao. At this time, she was too lazy to even lift her eyelids. This guy had been an ascetic monk for several months, and had long been unable to bear it. Finally, on the day she returned home after unloading the goods, he exploded. However, although the two people ignored him, the little Crown Prince did not agree. No matter how they coaxed him downstairs, he would not listen. Several nannies were anxious. After an hour, the little Crown Prince was still crying with a demonic nature. As expected of the blood of the Crown Prince of the demon realm, after crying for an hour, he was not tired at all. Instead, he became more and more energetic. Even Uncle Wu had to get up to see if the little Crown Prince was sick. Just like this, when Xiao Xiao was holding Yinran in his arms and having an erotic dream, the door was knocked. Xiao Xiao grabbed his hair angrily and got up to open the door. He shouted angrily, "What happened?" Unexpectedly, his voice was immediately drowned out by an angry cry that cut through the sky. It was 2 long cries and 1 short. 2 short cries and 1 long. The former seemed to be complaining about something, while the latter seemed to be holding in a belly full of anger and was about to faint. "Your Highness the Crown Prince, there is really no other way, so we came to find the Crown Princess. The little Crown Prince is crying and cannot be coaxed. Please forgive us, Crown Prince." The nannies were all kneeling on the ground with their heads down, not daring to breathe loudly. Xiao Zhao's entire body was so depressed that it was like the dog days of summer. Just as he was about to explode, he heard Yinran's voice from behind him. "Carry him over." The nannies quickly crawled up and handed the little Crown Prince to Yinran. Unexpectedly, the little fellow immediately stopped crying and snuggled into Yinran's chest, smacking his little mouth nonstop. Xiao Xiao turned on the lights and looked at the little fellow with a frown. He didn't expect that Xiao Xiao would see pride in the little fellow's eyes. Following this, Yinran, who was in Xiao Zhao's arms, no longer belonged to him. Yinran hugged the little fellow and fell into a beautiful sleep. Xiao Xiao looked at his empty arms and felt sour in his heart. It was like this for several days. Xiao Xiao really couldn't stand it anymore, and had Uncle Wu take the child out to live. Unexpectedly, in the middle of the night, a car drove through the villa's gate. Before it entered, Xiao Xiao heard a demonic sound piercing his ears. The nannies knelt in a row in front of the bedroom door, and history repeated itself. Other than this, the little Crown Prince was quite outstanding in other aspects. Yinran hung her little star on the little fellow since he was young. At the same time, Xiao Xiao also tied the bracelet with Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming on the little fellow's wrist. It was strange. Perhaps because of Xiao Zhao's bloodline, Kong Ming, Kong Xiaoming, and the little fellow's communication was quite smooth. The little Crown Prince Xiao Yin was nourished by Little Star's spiritual power, and was taught by the 2 learned scholars, Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming. It was unrealistic to think that he wasn't outstanding. Yinran originally wanted to nurture him into a successor of the cultivation world like her. But she found that Xiao Yin didn't have qi. She was discouraged. Could it be that she couldn't cultivate after giving birth to a child? But later on, Xiao Yin could directly retrieve things from a distance. Only then did Yinran know that he was a combination of Xiao Zhao's and her own demonic energy and spiritual power. He was born with the ability to hide. The little Crown Prince Xiao Yin seemed to mature earlier than other children. Looking at his calm face, he always spoke and did things like an adult. Other than fighting with his father for his mother, he would show some childish side. Just like this, until the little Crown Prince was 10 years old. Xiao Xiao fought with him for 10 years with wits and courage to fight with him for Yinran. The little crown prince was even better at clinging to his mother than he was. His eyebrows gradually grew, combining the strengths of Xiao Xiao and Yin Ran. Since he was young, a bunch of little girls revolved around him. But this little crown prince was even colder than his mother. Other than clinging to his mother, he was cold to everyone, including his father, who was always clinging to his mother. Since he was young, he was very interested in the totem at home. He held it in his hand like a treasure. Xiao Xiao didn't pay much attention to it before. But one day, he suddenly found that he was locked in a formation by this little fellow. His sense of crisis increased greatly. He snatched the totem from the little fellow's hand. "Tell Daddy, why did you lock Daddy up?" "Because Daddy always wants me to snatch Mommy." Xiao Xiao finally understood why his lord father disliked him after he was born, saying that he was taking up his lady mother's time. Now this son of his made him so angry that his teeth itched, but he couldn't hit or scold him. When Yanran glared at him, he could only raise his hands and surrender. No wonder his imperial father would throw him to the human world to gain experience. He didn't understand before, but now he seemed to understand. He really felt that this was a very necessary thing. Moreover, his Yanran and the little crown prince also had to go back to their in-laws' house. It seemed that it was time to go back home. On the first day of the new year, Xiao Zhao's new movie won the highest award. However, Yanran was too busy and didn't see the premiere. Only when the award ceremony was about to end did she see his figure appear in a hurry under the stage. Fortunately, she finally made it. Xiao Xiao showed a big smile and said the last words of thanks to his family. Yanran, who was busy outside, was urged to come back by Xiao Zhao's 18 phone calls. She found that her son was dressed up like a real crown prince. Looking at this beautiful son, although his face was expressionless, it really made her heart ache. "Xiao, our son really looks exactly like you." Xiao Xiao touched his nose. "Except for the same mold, his personality is completely like you." When the little crown prince Xiao Yin saw his mother, a trace of joy finally appeared on his originally calm face. He quickly threw himself into his mother's arms. "Mom, Dad said that he'll take me to the demon realm to play during the new year. Are you going?" Yanran hugged her cute son and kissed his little face fiercely. Xiao Xiao stretched his face over and kissed Yanran's face fiercely. "Yanran, let's go to the demon realm to play during the new year. Yanner has grown up and wants to go out and see the world." "We're going to the demon realm?" Yanran couldn't help but feel nervous. "What do I need to prepare?" "Xiao Yin, come down and play by yourself. Mom and Dad want to talk for a while." Xiao Yin twisted his body and grabbed his mother's neck. "I want to listen to whatever you say." Xiao Xiao made a gesture to slap his little butt. "Boys are grown up. How can you always pester your mom and your little girlfriend?" "Our Xiao Yin has a girlfriend." Yanran hugged her son happily. Those people are just a trace of spiritual power in my circle of friends. Mom is my favorite." This familiar sentence made Yanran laugh. "Go play. Mom and Dad have something to talk about." At this time, the little guy twisted his butt and got down from his mother's arms. He ran to the next room and poked his head out from time to time. Chapter 328. The Crown Prince's palace was very quiet. Other than the sound of a few people dozing off at the door, there was no other sound. This was the first time Yanran and Xiao Yin came here, but they did not feel unfamiliar at all. This was because the decorations here were exactly the same as their home. Xiao Xiao, Yanran, and Xiao Yin all changed into the clothes they wore in the demon world. Xiao Yin felt it was very novel, and a faint smile appeared on his calm face. After a while, the Crown Prince Xiao Xiao did not see anyone. He could only walk to the door and kick a few people awake. After being kicked a few times, the people immediately woke up and knelt in a row on the ground. "Where is everyone? Where did everyone go?" Xiao Xiao turned around and lazily sat down in a chair. "Reporting to Your Highness Crown Prince, today is the Demon Lord's wedding day. Everyone has gone to the concubine's palace to help." "What?" Xiao Xiao directly slid down from the chair in shock. Yanran also turned around in shock. Xiao Xiao expressionlessly turned around and looked at the maid kneeling on the ground in front of him. "Where is my mother?" How could she allow this to happen? Xiao Xiao asked in a stern voice. Princess is sick. I heard that the concubine is taken in to drive away the bad luck. The maid had never seen the crown prince so angry before, and her body began to tremble. Xiao Xiao immediately rushed to his mother's palace. Yanran followed closely behind while Xiao Xiao stayed in the palace alone. Xiao Xiao's mother's palace was behind the crown prince's palace. It was originally the most glorious palace in the entire palace. There was a circle of pavilions and towers that surrounded this flower-shaped palace. Xiao Xiao remembered that this was originally the most dazzling place. Every night, there would be music coming out. There would be several hundred servants from the lowest to the highest level, all to serve his mother alone. Today, the imperial concubine mother palace was like a sickly flower on its last breath. Even the dewdrops on the roof of the palace had become dull and lusterless. Xiao Xiao rushed through the door and saw a circle of people kneeling on the ground. Wen Wan was sitting by the bed and had obviously lost a lot of weight. His mother, who was originally beautiful, was lying lifelessly on the incomparably expensive carved bed like a porcelain doll. Her entire face was frighteningly white. Mother! Uncle Wan! Xiao Xiao rushed forward and grabbed his mother's slender hands. Only now did he realize that his mother's wrists were no longer as round as before. Instead, they were frighteningly sharp. Wen Wan was startled by Xiao Xiao's sudden appearance, but she quickly calmed herself down. She patted him on the shoulder and said, "Everything is arranged by fate. It's good that you came back. You can see your mother for the last time." "What do you mean by the last time?" Xiao Xiao was filled with fear. "Your mother contracted a strange illness a year ago." The Devil King was so worried that his hair turned white. He searched everywhere for famous doctors and medicines, but they couldn't cure her. Later, the state preceptor gave him an idea. He told him to marry a concubine today. If she still doesn't get better then. When Wan choked up and couldn't continue, Xiao Xiao's heart sank little by little. "Has she taken all the medicine? Is it all useless? Uncle Wan, is there nothing you can do? What kind of illness does my mother have?" "It's all because my medical skills are not good enough. I haven't found anything yet." A string of tears slid down Wen Wan's eyes and dripped onto the princess consort's face. "Can I take a look?" A cold female voice sounded. Wen Wan looked up and saw an incomparably beautiful woman calmly looking at her. Her eyes revealed calmness and the powerful aura of someone who had been in power for a long time. "Uncle Wen, this is my crown princess Yanran. She knows medical skills. Let her take a look." Under Yanran's gaze, Wen Wan couldn't help but believe her. He stood up and gave up his position. Yanran stepped forward and released her spiritual power. She wrapped the beautiful face on the bed, which was 70% similar to Xiao Xiao's, from top to bottom. Wen Wan's eyes showed surprise and admiration for the strong. At the same time, there was a trace of surprise. He clenched his fists and looked at all of this with some excitement. Yanran closed her eyes and released her spiritual sense. It wandered up and down the princess consort's body. As it wandered through every meridian, Yanran found something abnormal. Black mottled silk was wrapped around the meridian. Yanran's heart sank. She continued to explore deeper. She saw that not only were there silk threads in the meridian, but also in several key parts of the body, such as the brain and the heart. They were tangled together like messy threads. She couldn't understand them at all. No wonder when one said that the princess was terminally ill. The vine-like silk threads had taken over everything in the body. All of the body's functions had basically stopped. The silk threads were still extending inside the body. There was still one last step. The lungs were now surrounded by silk threads. The silk threads were extending inside the body. If it extended to the entire lungs and respiratory tract, the only air that the princess relied on for survival would not be able to enter. Then the princess consort's final death. Yanran withdrew her hand. There was a thin layer of sweat on her forehead. The princess consort's body is entangled by silk threads that grow on their own. I guess this is caused by a kind of poison. How can there be poison? Xiao Xiao was anxious. The princess consort's clothing, food, housing and transportation have all been strictly checked. How can there be poison in her body? How did you all serve her? Xiao Xiao stepped forward and kicked the few servants who were closest to him. Wen Wan stopped Xiao Zhao's actions and waved her hand. All of you can leave first. After everyone left, she said to Xiao Xiao, don't worry. Listen to the princess consort's detailed explanation. This kind of poison grows slowly. I don't think it grew overnight. I just checked the growth speed. According to my estimation, it may have been nearly 5 years. 5 years? Wen Wan carefully recalled. Nothing special happened 5 years ago. I still remember that 5 years ago, the Devil King took the princess consort out to play. He even deliberately left me in the palace and didn't let me accompany them. Could it be that she got it outside? Well, Uncle Wen, don't ask how she got it. Let's talk about it later. Yinran, is there a way to cure it now? I haven't cured it. I can only try. I have to prepare something. No one can disturb me. This should be a long-term process. I can only pull the silk out of her body bit by bit. Wen Wan stood up and bowed to Yinran. Princess consort, you let me see hope. I am completely helpless. No matter what, please give it a try. Just try your best. If you really can't, then it can only be the princess's fate. As he spoke, his eyes turned red again. Yinran walked to the table and was about to find a pen to write. However, she found that there were only writing brushes here. She said to Xiao Xiao, Xiao, remember to bring some brushes next time. Xiao Xiao nodded repeatedly. Yinran used the writing brush to write 3 full pages and handed it to Wen Wan. Just prepare according to what is written here. Wen Wan looked at it. There were some tools, such as bamboo tubes, daggers, silk threads, alcohol, boiling water, porcelain bottles, towels, chopsticks, and so on. He felt strange, but he didn't say anything. He just quickly ordered his subordinates to prepare. In a while, I will cut a hole in the princess's body. Then, I will find a way to pull out her silk. The first step will be to take her heart. Because the heart is the most important organ of life. If I don't take it out, it will stop beating. In a while, can I be inside? Wen Wan asked. Firen looked at him strangely and said, in a while, I will take off all her outer clothes. It may not be convenient for you to be inside. Wen Wan's face suddenly turned red. I am just a doctor. I just want to help. Xiao Xiao suddenly coughed twice. Yinran, Uncle Wen and my mother are like siblings. My mother was seriously injured before, and he was the one who treated her. I don't think my father will mind. Yinran looked at Xiao Xiao strangely again. Well then, I will cover her key parts. Soon everything was ready. Yinran and Wen Wan entered the room. Xiao Xiao originally wanted to follow in, but he was kicked out by Yinran. Go and see what your son is doing. Leave this to me. Xiao Xiao remembered that he left his son in the crown prince's palace in a hurry. However, Uncle Wu came with them, so it shouldn't be a big problem. Now, he suddenly remembered that his Devil King was still in the middle of his wedding. This made Xiao Zhao's heart burst with anger. F***ck, my mother is terminally ill. How can my father still have the mood to take in a concubine? His imperial father and imperial mother were an immortal couple. But now that such a big change had happened, and the two of them were going to have an affair, wasn't that stabbing a knife into his imperial mother's heart? If Yinran cured my mother, and another woman appeared all day long, then it's better not to cure her. Xiao Xiao resolutely prepared to ruin the wedding, and his son Xiao Yin was completely thrown to the back of his mind. At this time, Xiao Yin, who was left behind, was sitting on the high throne in the crown prince's palace. His face was expressionless, and the aura around his body was cold. This time, when I returned to the demon world, my father and mother disappeared. Did they believe in me too much? How can they adapt well in an unfamiliar environment? As for the servants in the crown prince's palace, they looked at the young crown prince, who was as fair as jade and had a powerful aura, sitting upright and still on his high throne. He didn't look anything like his father, the crown prince. Originally, the crown prince was a dandy. The tall crown prince's chair was like his soft couch. Even the hardwood couldn't support his lazy waist. In front of the crown prince's chair, there must be a stool with one leg propped up. Right now, this young crown prince's back was ramrod straight. Even the demonic crown prince's robe that he had just changed into was pulled straight and smooth by him. Not a single hair out of place. coupled with his cold and unsmiling face. Even if he had a soul-sucking, yet stunningly beautiful face that had yet to mature, the servants didn't dare to look directly at him. The young Prince Qiaoyan looked at the people kneeling on the ground for a while. Then he said slowly and coldly, "I am your young Prince Qiaoyan. Tell me your names one by one. Tell me everything about the demon world. I want to know first, the main social structure of the demon world. Second, the relationship between the main members of the demon world. Third, the customs of the demon world." Chapter 329. The servants looked at each other. With their knowledge, they couldn't understand the little crown prince's words. Yu who had rushed back after hearing the crown prince's return, knelt at the front. However, she didn't see the crown prince she was longing for. Instead, she saw a replica of the little crown prince, who was even more imposing. At this time, as the head palace maid of the crown prince, she could only take the lead to answer. Her voice was as clear as an oriole's. "Little crown prince, I am the head palace maid. We don't understand your question. Do you want to ask what kind of people there are in the palace, and the customs of the demon world?" Qiaoyan raised his eyelids, and looked at this weak girl with disdain. He faintly said, "Tell me what you know first." Yu could only tell him the relationships between the people of the demon world. Qiaoyan listened and didn't interrupt. However, his mind was working quickly. This was a combination of Yinran's brain and the world's #1 spirit technique. This made this 10-year-old child's IQ higher than normal people. In his mind, there was a huge palace. Every time Yu mentioned a person, Qiaoyan would place that person in a suitable position. Then, he would connect the relationship between them and the events that happened. At such a young age, he already had Yinran's demeanor. He didn't even need a pen and paper. The picture would naturally form. Yu couldn't continue speaking. Only she spoke and no one answered. No matter how eloquent she was, she didn't know what else to say. Qiaoyan saw her shut up and pointed to another person. "You continue." Just like this, everyone's words were gathered together. Finally, Qiaoyan had a comprehensive understanding of the demon world. His grandmother was sick, and now his grandfather wanted to marry a concubine to drive away the bad luck. Qiaoyan didn't know much about this chastised luck. He asked Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming in the bracelet. Kong Xiaoming shook his head and explained to him. Chastised luck refers to when someone in the family is seriously ill. The act of marriage is used to exorcise evil spirits, hoping that the patient will be saved. Superstition. Qiaoyan ridiculed in his heart. How could his grandfather be a fool? Usually, his father often talked to him about his beautiful grandmother. Since he came to the Devil Realm by chance, he had to do something for the Devil Realm. Not to mention, he also had the identity of a little prince. He didn't want another grandmother to appear. He lifted his robe and walked down from the crown prince's chair. "Lead the way. This crown prince wants to attend the wedding." Yu hurriedly crawled up and advised, "Little crown prince, it's best if you don't go. The demon lord still doesn't know of your existence, so it might not be appropriate to go over like this." Qiaoyan looked at her coldly. This woman's eyebrows were enchanting, and she was full of charm. With one look, he could tell that she was a vixen. She was the same as those women that his mother had told him about who wanted to seduce his father. "The content of your report is not up to standard. Stay here and kneel for 2 hours as punishment." He then turned to another servant who looked honest. "You lead the way." Yu looked at the back of the little crown prince and bit her lower lip. As the head palace maid, she had never been punished before. Her eyes were slightly red. She looked at the servants beside her who had their heads lowered and did not speak. She stamped her foot and unwillingly knelt down. Xiao Xiao flew out in the darkness by himself. After passing by the beautifully designed pavilions, he arrived at the incomparably noisy main hall. The Devil Realm's wedding procedures were very complicated. After going through all kinds of etiquette in the morning, they would officially take in the side concubine at night and be recorded in the Devil Realm's history books. Xiao Xiao looked at the dark sky. He pulled over a servant who was quickly walking through the garden. "How far is the wedding going?" The servant was shocked. "Your Highness, you're back. The side concubine is walking into the main hall and is about to bow. Xiao Xiao cursed in his heart. F***ck. He really had to race against time. He flew into the distance, and sure enough, he saw a woman in a formal red dress with a small phoenix curtain on her head. She was walking towards the entrance of the palace, and behind her were 8 other women who were bending down and holding up the ends of their dresses. Xiao Xiao originally wanted to rush over, but after thinking about it, in such a formal occasion, if he acted rashly, wouldn't he be scolded by the demon lord, or even impeached by the ministers? Then his gains wouldn't make up for his losses, and instead, he would have a bad reputation. If he wanted to do it, just relying on brute force was not enough. It had to be said that Xiao Xiao's smart brain was still very useful at critical moments. He looked at the woman who was about to enter the hall and flicked the devil chi in his hand. A strand of devil chi directly hit the woman's knee. The woman who was originally walking very well suddenly staggered. Her legs went soft, and she sat on the ground with a plop. Then, Xiao Xiao silently chanted an array in his heart, and a golden hoop incantation enveloped the woman's body. Then, the woman on the ground began to roll on the ground, as if she was dodging something, but she was unable to stand up and walk into the hall. She was just 1 step away, but to her, it was 1,000 mountains and 10,000 rivers. The surrounding ministers and the demon lord in the hall were all dumbfounded by this sudden change. In such a formal occasion, the new concubine actually did not follow etiquette and began to roll on the ground. Immediately, 2 palace maids wanted to help her up, but before they could even get close, they were sent flying. When the demon lord saw this, he could clearly sense that someone had set up an array. With a wave of his hand, the array was immediately broken. At this moment, the bat that was pouncing towards the concubine finally disappeared without a trace. She sat on the ground and looked around in a daze. Only then did she realize that she was at the entrance of the hall, sitting on the ground. Everyone was looking at her with disdain. The new concubine was so embarrassed that she wanted to crawl into a hole to hide her face. When the palace maids behind her helped her up, she realized that her phoenix curtain had already rolled to a place 5 meters away from her. Someone had already helped her pick up the phoenix curtain. She wanted to put it on her head and continue walking forward. But at this moment, an old minister stood out. Demon Lord, the new concubine did not follow etiquette in front of the hall. She did not follow the rules, and there seems to be an ominous sign. At this moment, another voice sounded. Demon Lord. It was obvious that someone caused the concubine to lose her etiquette in front of the hall. I suggest that we finish the ceremony first, so as to not take advantage of the bad people. The concubine's health is important. If we miss the auspicious time, the concubine's life will be in danger. The demon lord had originally wanted to drive away the bad luck. Now that he heard this voice say that the concubine's life was in danger, he did not care about anything else. Continue. Xiao Xiao saw that his plan had not succeeded, so he expanded the array. The officials lined up neatly to the side instantly felt that they had been trapped in a white fog. Not only were they unable to move, there was nothing in front of them other than the white fog. The old officials were shocked. Some of them directly released emochi to try and save themselves, but other than dissipating into the white fog, there was no effect. A wave of panic swept over him. The demon lord saw his officials outside the hall begin to dance with joy. This time the array was rather large. The demon lord waved it a few times, but he still could not break it. Then he saw the old officials run out, randomly shouting something. Only the concubine was left sitting in front of the hall. The demon lord was dazed by this sudden turn of events. He angrily roared, "Who's playing tricks?" The soldiers on the side immediately walked out of the hall to join the soldiers outside in pursuit of the old officials. At this moment, the concubine saw that the path ahead of her was clear. She lifted her skirt and prepared to charge into the hall. Xiao Xiao saw this and continued to block her. With a slight movement of his body, a fiery array soared into the sky. The concubine, who had just finished tidying herself, was instantly enveloped in it. Soon after, the concubine's screams could be heard from the fire. It was a barrel-shaped pillar of fire, that formed a circle around the concubine. The concubine was relatively safe inside. Not a single spark had splashed onto her body, but she was still unable to walk out of the circle. "Nonsense," the demon lord roared. "Search." A white-haired man walked out from the side of the demon lord's seat. His eyes rapidly turned and his ears twitched. He quickly rushed to the bushes outside the door. Xiao Xiao saw that he could not hide anymore. The man was coming in his direction. He simply walked out openly. At the same time, he sent a stream of demonic chi at the white-haired man, keeping him 3 meters away from him. When the people present saw the man who walked out of the bushes, it was as if the entire moonlight was draped over him. Thousands of stars could not compare to this person's elegance. It turned out that the crown prince had returned. They immediately knelt down to pay their respects. "Xiao do not be rude. This is the imperial advisor Qiao Ji." So it was his son who was playing tricks. The demon lord was helpless. Xiao Xiao slightly cupped his hands. "So it's imperial advisor Qiao." With that, he turned to the demon lord. "Father, why are you taking in a new lover when my mother is dying on the sickbed?" When the demon lord saw that his beloved child had finally returned from the human world, he was originally very happy. However, when he was asked, his face became distressed. "Xiao I don't want to either. This is the only way." "I don't agree," Xiao Xiao continued. "Father, if you take in another concubine, even if my mother's illness is cured, aren't you letting her fall into eternal damnation again? Moreover, the saying of the chaser of good luck has long been proven to be a superstition in the human world. You actually believe in this superstition. If my mother wakes up, she won't let you enter the room." The demon lord coughed twice awkwardly and saw that everyone below was holding back their laughter. "Xiao your mother is sick. The one who is most sad is me. I really have no choice but to listen to the imperial advisor's advice." Xiao Xiao hurriedly added, "Father, the crown princess is already treating my mother. Can your wedding be put aside?" "Your crown princess can treat illnesses?" the demon lord asked in disbelief. "Of course. In the human world when I was sick, it was Yanran who treated me," Xiao Xiao said proudly. Imperial advisor Qiao Ji immediately took a step forward. "Demon lord, please reconsider. Even when one can't treat the illness, can the crown princess treat it? Wasn't the crown prince brought back to the demon world to find Wen Wan to punish him in order to save the crown princess? If the crown princess could treat herself at that time, why did the crown prince's illness transfer to her?" Chapter 330. When Xiao Xiao heard this, he was unhappy. "The crown princess is not sick. She has been cursed by the demon realm. Are you deliberately not letting my mother recover?" Xiao Xiao was not polite with his words, making the state preceptor Qiao Ji speechless. "Father, whether she can be cured or not will wait. If she can't be cured, you can just marry again." The state preceptor hurriedly took a step forward. "Demon Lord, today is the auspicious time that I calculated. If we miss the auspicious time and cannot consummate the marriage, then the princess consort will really be in danger." Xiao Xiao narrowed his eyes and walked in front of the state preceptor. "Is it not enough for you to take a concubine? You still want to force my father to consummate the marriage?" The demon lord coughed twice. "Xiao don't talk to the state preceptor like this." Xiao Xiao knew that this state preceptor was the main culprit who wanted his father to take a concubine. He remembered what Yanran said before. "Dare I ask the state preceptor? I have not seen you before. May I ask when you became the state preceptor?" "Reporting to your highness the crown prince, I met the demon lord and the princess consort by chance 5 years ago. Moreover, I have a heart that wants to repay the demon realm. The demon lord saw that my talent was not bad, so he appointed me as the state preceptor." Xiao Zhao's heart thumped. 5 years ago? His mother was poisoned 5 years ago. This state preceptor looked very suspicious. "Lord Father, my crown prince consort is currently treating mother consort's illness. Do you think we should wait at the door? What if mother consort needs you?" Xiao Xiao blinked his large eyes, blinking as he looked at his lord father. The demon lord felt that his baby was calling out to him. Originally, other women could not enter his eyes. Unless it was absolutely necessary, He really did not want to do this. Father, Uncle Wen is also in my mother's room. He wants to accompany my mother until the last moment. Xiao Zhao's words were like the last straw that crushed the balance in the demon lord's heart. With a wave of the demon lord's hand, the wedding was suspended. Together with Xiao Xiao, he quickly walked towards his precious palace. The state preceptor still wanted to say something, but he was stopped by the devil lord's big hand. There's no need to say anything. Thank you for your kind intentions, state preceptor. I have already made up my mind. Everything will depend on the will of the heavens. The imperial preceptor looked at the demon lord in the distance and clenched his fists in his long sleeves. His stalk stood up, and he turned to look at the secondary consort who had already come out of the fire. The two of them casually glanced at each other and then turned away. In the room, Yanran and Wenwan had already made all the necessary preparations. Yanran and Wenwan put on surgical gowns that were similar to those worn in modern times. After they soaked the tools in boiling water, they scooped them out with chopsticks. Then, Yanran asked Wenwan to turn around and take off Wang Fei's outer clothes. Wang Fei was only wearing a thin doo-doo and underpants. Then, she prepared to start the operation. Yanran was a little embarrassed. After all, this was her mother-in-law. However, she really couldn't define the word mother-in-law on this peerless beauty. She seemed to be the same age as her. Her exposed skin was flawless, like a beautiful jade shining with a silvery white luster. Her skin was tight, without the slightest bit of looseness. Her beautiful figure was well-proportioned, like a perfect porcelain with curves. When Wenwan turned around, with just one glance, his breathing became chaotic. Yanran glanced at him. He quickly turned around and calmed himself down. When he turned around again, his eyes were clear and bright. The reason why I removed Wang Fei's outer clothes is to observe the movement of the silk in her body. I will find a way to extract the silk from her meridians. If it can be directly extracted from her body, it will be the best. If it can't be directly extracted from her body, then it will be mixed in her blood. I can only find a way to bleed her. But I still need to give her a blood transfusion. Yes, both mine and the Devil Lord's blood are fine. Okay, then let's start. Let's start with the heart. Yanran picked up the dagger and pointed it at Wang Fei's chest for a long time. But she didn't make a move. Crown Princess, are you calculating something? Wenwan asked. I want to make a small wound for her. It will look a little better, but it will be a little slow. I'm afraid that she will be in pain. Can you help me press it? How do I press it? Press your hands on her chest and fix it. Wenwan gritted his teeth and agreed. But when he touched the softness through a layer of cloth, his palms were hot as if they were on fire. He didn't show it on the surface. He just nodded at Yanran. Yanran raised the dagger in her hand and drew a small cross on Wang Fei's chest. It was like a plum blossom embellished on Wang Fei's flawless jade body. Yanran moved her spiritual power to her palm and pressed it against the cross wound. She began to operate the hibiscus manual from her body. 2 years ago, her hibiscus manual had reached the large success stage. She could control and release it freely. She was no longer like before, when she could only release her spiritual power outwards. Now, she could actively absorb the external spiritual power. This time, Yanran thought of using the hibiscus manual to absorb the silk from Wang Fei's body and transfer it outside of her body. When Wan looked at Yanran, although she was young, she was calm and had a backbone. Her words and actions were full of conviction. His hand pressed even tighter. Yanran closed her eyes and used her spiritual power to operate the hibiscus manual in Wang Fei's body. For a very long time, the two of them didn't move. Yanran seemed to have fallen asleep. When Wan's palm was sweating through the cloth, he also closed his eyes and kept chanting the clear heart incantation in his heart, until the sound of footsteps came from the door. The familiar sound of footsteps came. Yanran knew that Xiao Xiao had returned. She didn't open her eyes. She knew that they wouldn't come in. She focused on continuing her work. But she was wrong. In less than 2 minutes, the door was pushed open with a bang. Xiao Xiao couldn't stop him from behind. Fu Wang calmed down. Then the devil monarch walked forward and saw that his beloved concubine was receiving treatment. But what the hell was with Wen Wan's 2 hands? The devil monarch's eyes were spitting fire. But when he looked at his beloved concubine lying on the bed, he didn't dare to make a noise. He could only glare at Wen Wan's hands with a murderous gaze. Yanran raised her eyelids and saw Xiao Xiao looking at her helplessly. Yanran could only say, "Everyone else go out. Fuang, if you want to stay, you need to help." Then Yanran signaled for Wen Wan to let go of one of her hands and let the devil monarch do it. Thus, in the midst of the crackling sparks, the two men, one on each side, assisted Yanran in treating the illness. Yanran shook her head and her heart. She finally knew why Xiao Zhao's jealousy was so strong. It turned out that it was hereditary. Yanran simply said to Xiao Xiao, "Give me the totem. You guys wait outside." The power of the hibiscus score was very strong. It focused on the concubine's heart. Yanran used her psychic awareness to explore the heart. She found that there were dense silk threads around the heart, wrapping the originally blood-red heart into a mass of black. Her psychic power turned into two hands around the heart. She forcefully pulled the silk threads on both sides of the heart. The concubine showed a painful expression. Her whole chest was desperately pushing up. Yanran ordered, "Hold it." Wen Wan and the devil monarch increased their strength and fixed the concubine's chest in place. However, the devil monarch immediately shot a glare at Wen Wan. He had just accurately captured Wen Wan's palm and pinched it slightly. Wen Wan pretended not to see it, but her back was obviously a little sweaty. The concubine began to moan in pain. Wen Wan and the devil monarch looked at Yanran nervously. Yanran turned her psychic power into a sharp dagger and used it to pry open the silk threads around the heart bit by bit. However, when these invisible threads were picked apart, they were quickly connected. Yanran saw that the dagger was useless, so she directly changed to a small stick and wrapped one of the threads around it. As if she had found the end of the thread, the silk threads that were originally wrapped around it were gradually separated. It worked. Yanran's psychic power rotated the small stick in her body, wrapping the black silk threads around it and gradually drawing them out. Along the concubine's skin, it could be seen that there were faint black lines swimming under the skin. Wen Wan looked excited. Previously, he had thought of countless ways to get rid of the poison, but it was all in vain. Now there was finally some movement. The small stick was slowly drawn out of the small cross-shaped hole in the chest. The black silk threads wrapped around it obediently followed the invisible small stick out of the body. At this time, Yanran silently recited the incantation in her heart, and the totem emitted a dazzling light. Then, a small confinement array was set up in the room. Yanran shouted, "Enter." Just like that, the black thread of thought was locked inside. After an unknown period of time, the black silk threads were constantly drawn out of the concubine's chest and locked in the confinement array. Previously, the concubine's heart was so weak that it could no longer beat. Finally, it gradually regained its vitality. Under the warm touch of the devil monarch's hand, he felt the life rise again and again. A sour feeling rushed into his eyes. He raised his eyes and saw that Wen Wan's eyes were completely red. The devil monarch raised his eyes to look at Yanran and found that her face was pale. It was clear that she had used too much psychic power and was weak to the point of not being able to support herself. As expected, when the last silk thread was pulled out of the heart by Yanran, she directly stopped. "Let's stop here for today. We'll continue tomorrow." Yanran originally thought that with her strong psychic power, she could pull out all the poison in her body in an instant. She didn't expect that just the heart would consume almost all her energy, but it should be a good start. "Thank you, Crown Princess." The devil monarch stood and bowed deeply to Yanran. Yanran was shocked. "You are my father-in-law. You must not bow to me. It is only right for me to save my mother-in-law." Xiao Xiao heard that the inside was finished and came in from outside. "Father, Yanran is your daughter-in-law. Why are you so polite?" The devil monarch was not so polite to his son. He glared at him. "Anyone who can save your mother is a great benefactor. Father, now that there is hope, shouldn't you consider who poisoned grandmother?" Wen Wan stood up and said. Previously, the crown princess analyzed that the poison was planted 5 years ago. "Father, 5 years ago, the state preceptor happened to be brought into the palace by you. Isn't this too much of a coincidence? The devil monarch recalled the scene when he met the state preceptor 5 years ago. That year, I took your mother out to investigate the situation of the people. When we passed by the border between the demon world and the demon world, we were suddenly attacked. I don't know why the barrier between the two worlds was broken. Your mother and I didn't have enough time to dodge, and we didn't have enough manpower. Chapter 331. At that time, I was very anxious. I looked for your mother everywhere like a madman, but I couldn't find her. At that time, I wanted to die. I was afraid that your mother would suffer a little accident. I looked for her for a whole day and night. It wasn't until the next night that the state preceptor Chao Ji came back with your mother. It turned out that your mother accidentally fell off the cliff at that time. It was Chao Ji who saved her. I was grateful to him. In addition, he was more talented, so I regarded him as the state preceptor. In the past few years, he arranged the affairs of the devil world one by one, which saved me a lot of effort. I saw that he was very capable, so I slowly regarded him as my right-hand man. Later, your mother's health slowly deteriorated. When Nguyen and I kept looking for medicine for her to treat her illness, I delegated many things to the state preceptor to make decisions. I didn't expect that your mother's health would get worse and worse. In the past 6 months, she was basically lying in bed. In the past few days, she has fallen into a deep coma. I felt that the whole sky was falling. Without your mother, I didn't want to live. Later, Chao Ji gave me an idea. He asked me to take a concubine to drive away the bad luck. This was really the only way. I was desperate, so I agreed to his suggestion. But father, if I didn't come back today, would you really consummate the marriage with the concubine? The devil king coughed twice awkwardly. Of course not. I am wholeheartedly devoted to your mother, and keep her chastity. But I saw that the state preceptor wanted to force you. Humph. He can force me to marry a wife. Can he force me to consummate the marriage? He's dreaming. The devil king looked at his baby with disgust, and then looked at him affectionately. Father, at least you didn't betray my mother. Otherwise I will not forgive you. The devil king glanced at him. Just after the devil king and Xiao Xiao left the hall, the whole wedding venue was cancelled. Those who should leave had left, and those who should stay did not stay. The whole hall was empty. Xiao Yin looked at the broken scene, and felt some arrays left by totems. Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming in the bracelet said, Xiao Xiao must have been here just now. You're late. Xiao Yin said to the servants behind him, You guys go back first. I will walk around here by myself. Then he walked into the hall and looked around. He felt that everything in the devil realm was rather novel. He walked straight to the demon lord's seat and sat on it. He realized that the seat was large and spacious, but it was a little hard. It was perfect for lying down and sleeping. Just as he was about to stand up and leave the seat, he suddenly noticed a strand of black hair peeking out from under the seat. Xiao Yin narrowed his eyes and pretended to leave. The moment he lifted his leg, he took a step back, bent down, and pulled hard with his hand. Then, a handful of black hair was pulled out by him, and a pretty little girl about his age fell onto him. Xiao Yin was caught off guard, and was pressed down on the demon lord's seat by the little girl. The little girl did not raise her head, and rubbed her furry little head against Xiao Yin's chest. She shouted, Who told you to pull my hair? Who told you to pull my hair? Xiao Yin could not stand it anymore. He released his spiritual power, and bounced the little girl more than 10 feet away. Only then did he see clearly that the little girl was pouting and sticking out her tongue at him. Xiao Yin hurriedly straightened his clothes, sat upright on the chair, and scolded with a childish voice. Who are you? Why are you hiding here? He did not expect that the little girl was not afraid of him at all. Instead, she used her hands and feet to climb up his body. Xiao Yin wanted to shake her off, but the little girl hugged his waist and looked up at his handsome face. Little brother, I like you. A flock of crows flew over Xiao Yin's head. 2 drops of cold sweat fell from his forehead. Hurry up and let go, or I will spank your butt. He did not expect the little girl to stick out her but in front of him. Go ahead. Xiao Yin had no choice but to pull her off and put her to the side. Speak properly, or I will tie you up. The little girl pouted and said, I saw you when you entered the hall. You look so good. Did you come from the sky? Who are you? I am the princess here, man. Everyone knows me. Don't you know me? Where did you come from? Why haven't I seen you before? The little girl blinked her big bright eyes and asked curiously, Do you know everyone here? Xiao Yun's face was always expressionless and serious when he spoke. Of course I grew up here so I know everyone. I say, you are about the same age as me, so why are you so serious like a little old man? After saying that, a man was about to pinch Xiao Yun's face. Xiao Yun tilted his head and warned her with his finger. Don't move. Was there a wedding just now? Why is there no one here now? You still haven't answered my question. Who are you? If you don't tell me, I won't tell you. Xiao Yun looked at the strange little girl and could only say, My name is Xiao Yun. Unexpectedly, a man immediately shouted, You are the little crown prince, then you are my big brother crown prince. After saying that, she buried her head in Xiao Yun's arms and hugged his waist with both hands. Xiao Yun struggled to pry her hands away. The little girl in the human world had never seen him dare to hug her. He glared, and the surrounding 3 feet froze. He did not expect the little girl to be afraid of anything. It was as if the aura around him had become a small sun. However, the two of them finally understood each other's identity. A man was his aunt's granddaughter, so they were indeed relatives. Xiao Yun could not be fierce to the little girl, but he did not have the mood to stay here. He said to man, I will return to the crown prince's palace first. But man didn't let him go at all. Finally, there was someone who could play with her. It's your first time in the devil realm, right? We have a lot of fun places here. Let me take you to play, okay? Xiao Yun originally wanted to go find his parents and see how his grandmother was doing. However, a man seemed to be pestering him, desperately wanting to take him to see the most beautiful scenery in the palace. That is the most beautiful place in the demon world. It is at the bottom of the lake in the demon world. It is colorful just like a paradise. You will definitely like it. Just like that, Xiao Yun could not hold back his curiosity and was dragged away by man. Xiao Yun followed man around the various palaces, avoiding the patrolling soldiers. Finally, they arrived at the foot of a fake mountain. He saw a man activating some kind of mechanism on the wall. Then, with a push of his hands, a small stone door was opened. A man waved to Xiao Yun. It is down here. The starlight in her eyes lit up the entire dark cave. It was Xiao Yun's first time walking on such a damp and narrow path, and man took good care of him. As she led the way, she would occasionally turn back to remind him to be careful of the uneven ground. When they passed by a sharp stone, a man blocked it with her hand and said to Xiao, You go first. The stone here is too sharp, I will block it for you. Xiao Yun stood straight and used his body to block the sharp stone. He said to man, You go first, I am tall. Then, man smiled widely and hugged Xiao Yun's waist happily. Big brother crown prince is the best. Just like that, the two of them walked for about an hour and finally arrived at an open space. This piece of flat land was indeed located at the bottom of the lake. They could even hear the sound of the lake water surging from above. Rays of light from an unknown source shone on the stone walls, illuminating the flat land in a riot of colors. It was very gorgeous and colorful. How is it, big brother crown prince? I didn't lie to you, right? This place is really beautiful. I have never brought anyone else here before. Big brother crown prince, you are the first. Xiao Yun did not say anything, but he was also stunned by the beautiful scenery in front of him. He looked at man's bright smile, and he really liked this little sister of his. Xiao Yun walked around the stone wall, while man happily danced. The colorful light shone on man's body, giving her a layer of brilliance. Man laughed as she danced. She waved at Xiao Yun and said, Brother crown prince, come and dance with me. The feeling of dancing is really great. Xiao Yun's cold personality was not suitable for dancing in this cave, and because man was too focused on Xiao Yun, she twisted her foot and accidentally fell to the ground with a cry. Xiao Yun hurried forward, only to see man with a bitter face pouting her small mouth. Big brother Crown Prince, I think I twisted my foot. Qiao Yin brought a man's foot in front of him and turned it slightly. He did not expect that with a light touch, a man would be in so much pain that she sucked in a breath of cold air. We have to hurry and find a doctor to take a look. I think it's a twisted tendon, but the bone should be fine. A man pouted, feeling wronged. Big brother Z, I still have a few good places that I want to take you to see. Now that I twisted my foot, I can't go anymore. Qiao Yin comforted her. It's okay, we'll go when you're better. A man had no choice but to slowly walk to the entrance of the cave with Qiao Yin's help. A man's foot was injured, so the two of them walked very slowly. Because of the pain, a man was not in the mood to talk, and could only walk slowly with Qiao Yin in the cave. When they came, the two of them walked for more than an hour, but when they returned, they found that something was wrong. The two of them seemed to have entered a formation, and the exit was right in front of them. It looked very close, but for some reason they could not get close. Qiao Yin took out the totem and silently recited the incantation, but the totem gave him the response that there was no formation here. At this time, Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming in the bracelet said, "The bottom of this lake is very big. You might have gone the wrong way." This was troublesome. The two of them were lost at the bottom of the lake. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.